Hello and welcome to another episode of Neverstraightanswer, the podcast that aims to cover a wide range of topics from conspiracy theories to popular culture and news. I'm your host Gaz, and joined in the studio, as usual, you know him, he's Mr. TikTok Taylor.
Hey, good evening, thank you. Yeah.
And welcome one and all to another thrilling episode of Neverstraightanswer, the podcast. It covers everything.
Oh yeah.
Oh, aye,
everything.
Yeah. Bit of this, bit of that. Bit of the other, bit of your mother.
Bit shifty, son.
Oh, yeah, totally. Well, welcome along to new listeners and obviously repeat offenders. Oh, yeah. Welcome Keep to the show. And what a show we've got lined up for you tonight. We've got a bloody supersized...
Bit of a timer, innit?
Oh, yeah. Well, it was actually like really weird timing that we had this on the cards, and then loads of random stuff's happened this week.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not...
Bit freaky.
It made me think straight away, shit, that's too much of a coincidence. Yeah. But then, it turned out, obviously, what it was. I know if you don't know what we're talking about the crazy world events this week that happened in Lebanon.
Yeah.
With the Lebanese explosion. I mean, it's quite reminiscent to something like the Hiroshima, bomb.
Yeah.
The nuclear bomb that went off. And that's tonight's episode. We're going to be talking about the Doomsday Clock.
Yes.
And its relevance, history and origins.
Yeah.
Lots of different bits and pieces. Relating to it. But we've also got some nuke information as well. Some bits and pieces about, capabilities. Strongest nuke on Earth. And some other bits and pieces that I won't quite share with you just yet.
Yeah, we'll leave you guessing.
Other than that, what have you been up to today? Or this week, even? Since the last time we spoke?
I've been researching a bit of law, actually.
Oh, he's been back on the law books. Did you find out any interesting loopholes for me?
I was checking...
Any chinks in the chain where I can go and earn a fast, quick, honest or not so honest buck?
No.
No.
Not unless you want to be a police officer.
Oh, God.
Because of these fines and
Conflict
stuff.
of interest, sorry.
The COVID virus, the actual laws that they've brought in actually don't stand, and they actually go against a lot of, I think it works out, 7 different liberties that
taking liberties, son. Yeah. Taking fucking liberties.
Kids going to school, to adults in hospital, and in fact, I heard of nurses being told if a patient
it's a load of bullshit,
and then died of a heart attack, you've still got to put them down as COVID. Now that's fraud.
Yeah, that's basically like making it sound worse than it is. Why would you do that? Firstly, why would you need the numbers to go up? You don't want the numbers up. You want them to go down.
Yeah, but
the point is,
you get people indoors, don't you? You've got the proof there.
Oh, it's supposed to be no family, no gatherings and stuff and all that. But it's like I keep going round, going for walks and hearing like stupid, massive party barbecues going on in people's gardens. I'm like, what are you doing?
All of Stockport is under special measures now as well.
Is it?
Yeah, as of I think it was yesterday.
Come on, Stockport. Yeah. Well, it's Preston as well was locked down yesterday with special measures. So it's getting around again.
And actually, yesterday from 12 o'clock, every single prisoner was locked down. Every single prisoner in the country from 12 o'clock last night. Yeah, everyone was locked down.
Well, wonder what that's from. And maybe there's been
about
spiked.
The corona.
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, but that's what I'm saying is there must have been some sort of cause for concern.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have done it. What? But then again, the government's been doing everything so late in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
That it's probably something that they did put in the pipeline 6 months ago or 5 months ago.
A couple of months ago, there was problems with prisoners passing it on, but taken a bit of time before you've actually made the decision of
actually do anything about it.
Let's just leave them in the cell. Get on with it.
Well, what's next for 2020? Godzilla.
Oh yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
fuck knows. To be honest, there's been something every single month this year.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to do a rundown of
the top 10 disasters of 2020.
We could do one of just 2020, but I don't think there's been such an eventful year in a very long while. And I mean,
so if we have a peaceful one next year.
Well, let's hope. But I mean, going forward, like we'll be looking at the timeline of the Doomsday Clock and events that made it go forward and back.
Yeah.
And I mean, in terms of our recent history.
Yeah.
I mean, this year's just been mind blowing for me, honestly. Other than
a lot of things going on, a lot of things.
Well, we could talk about how crappy 2020 is for the remainder of the show, but we've got other stuff to talk about as well. But I mean, what else have you been up to apart from your law research? I did a bit of TV watching as usual.
Yeah. What have you been watching?
Well, I caught up on Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If anyone's watching that, it's the final season. So
I can't get that in a minute.
Oh, you need to get watching.
Yeah, I will, but I'm one of these.
It'll be on terrestrial TV.
I could watch
soon.
it 10 years' time.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean,
remember
the thing
all
is,
the bit and then just go, right, episode 5, right, let's go on from there. Bam.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I always have to just jump. Even when a new series comes out, I always think, I'll watch the last episode of the last series before.
You're one of them suckers that, just away, bang, I'll go out and get it.
Oh, of course, no, I'll be on it. But, I mean, it's one of those where I feel like, just as a refresher, because I don't want to be going into the new season totally like missing things or misremembering things
or getting spoiled, like someone tells you in just a general conversation.
Like I do all the time.
Road.
I do it. Yeah. Sorry, I mean not as bad as Gruber, who spoiled Star Wars for me.
Oh, naughty
in
Gruber,
the most ridiculous way.
Oh,
anyway, so caught up on Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Not been the best week this week. Been slightly off colour. Just been trying to get through, doing a bit of research, playing a bit of Xbox. And watching a bit of TV. I said that then, and my Xbox just started doing stuff.
Yeah, what's this? Would you like to?
I don't want to watch BBC One. No, I don't do the BBC One.
I had a TV licence man knock on my door this morning.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What did you say to him?
Fuck off. And he went, I beg your pardon. Right, what do you want? He just asked for the previous owner. Did he live there? And I went, no, don't live here now. So I went to, got my name, which I agreed to. And then he basically asked me in no certain terms, so what's your status at the minute then? And it was like, what's he said? What you trying to? He wanted to know if I had a license.
You should have said, "I'm taken, thanks. I'm not I'm single. Why are you asking?"
Well, no. I just turned around and I said, "I don't watch BBC." And he goes, "It's not just for the BBC, I went, "Yeah, I don't watch any of it. I just do data. That's it. Get information in." And then he's a little questioning on that, and he was like, "Right, I've got to go, mate."
Nah, but what you've done there is you've acknowledged the fact that you've got a TV. Yeah.
No. Because
no. You have, because you've just said I don't watch TV. I've got a telly, but I don't use it for watching
just
broadcasts.
Porn, cartoons,
Well, you could argue that you've got your game and watch DVDs, I suppose. I mean, the fact of the matter is, the TV license is a bit of a bullshit one. I mean, they've just scummed the over 70s recently, and that's a big problem for me, because I think these guys, they've done their rip. Yeah. They've worked hard their whole lives. If they can't watch fucking Cash in the Attic and Antiques Roadshow, then what the fuck?
There was another 8,000 jobs to go round to these old days and go you owe us a bit of money here now.
Well, true that. I mean, but this is the thing that, most, older people might feel a bit pressured or feel like they've got to pay it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's a shame because, like I say, these guys, they've done their bit for the country. Yeah, the least you can do is let them retire and watch a bit of telly on us. You know what I mean? And it's the fact now that these pensioners have got to go out and find an extra £70 to pay for the TV licence. The BBC should be ashamed of themselves. It's one thing trying to bamboozle us.
It's not just
you know
TV
what I mean? You're taking the piss out of the fucking older generation.
We've never been really great with our older generation.
Well, no, but we should be, because at the end of the day, it's like, we go on about how they fought wars for us and all the rest of it. My granddad didn't do this, so I could, so we could have to pay 70 quid for the licence fee at the age of 70. Yeah. The fact of the matter is, they should be looking after the old folk.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, Anyway, I could rant on about the TV license forever, but other than
that, fuck off.
So, yeah.
Don't knock on the doors, just fuck off.
Well, I've just been working on plans for the 100th episode. Woo!
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which is coming fast.
It is.
It is.
Couple of more to go.
Did you ever think we'd get this far in terms of podcasting? 100 episodes?
Yeah, I thought we would.
I did too, to be honest. Well, no, because we had the determination, that's what I'm saying. Do you know what? Okay, fucking hell, I'm starting to sound like Trump. I can't even get a sentence out. The fuck? Well, there's no What's Fucked Up Where You're From again this week. But we have had some local folklores and stuff coming in. I've just not had time to do the legwork on it. But if you've got a local folklore or urban legend where you're from, and we want to hear from you, basically.
Give us a tinkle.
So basically, we each week we unearth what's fucked up in your
in
area, basically, where you live. From hauntings to cryptids, anything a little messed up. Give us an email. Like I say, I'm currently working through the ones we've got and doing a bit of research on, so we'll come back with one next week, I promise.
Oh, yeah.
But if you fancy getting involved, email us at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com and tell us all about it.
Yeah. That's another thing I've been doing as well. What? Emailing.
Oh, you have, haven't you? He's been doing a lot of emailing.
I want to try and get us some.
Dear Colgate, your toothpaste is not making my teeth white enough as advertised.
Yeah.
You're like Mark Goldman.
Get free gear.
Yeah. Well, that's it, isn't it?
Because I've got about my earphones.
Well, I've got this theory, right, and I've told Taylor about it many a times. But my theory is that companies, imagine being the guy who has to deal with complaints.
Yeah,
right?
Or feedback.
Just general feedback, right? So that guy, he's got, you know how many times, because at the end of the day, you're going to only email this company if you've got an issue with them.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. 9 times out of 10.
Of course, I don't want to know him. I'm just buying his product, that's
Most of the time, if you're having a good experience, you don't want to.
Yeah, you're not going to ring them up and thank them.
Cheers, man. Yeah, your product's amazing. You generally just get on with your day, right? Only if you have a bad experience, you email the company to tell them that you had a bad experience, right? So imagine the delight in that guy, the PR guy or the marketing guy, when he's going through his emails.
You're making famous.
He's gone through 20 emails of all complaints and stuff like that. Yeah.
And then he walks in the bandages
people complaining. Going, I want compensation. I want this. You've ruined my life. My kid nearly choked. And all this, And then all of a sudden he sees your email there and it says, Dear product.
Yeah.
I love your product.
Best product ever.
Makes my day every time I use your product. Oh, do you know what? I just thought I'd tell you. Like, you know, and then
he's going to use that big time.
Pip. Have a lovely day. Yeah.
That'll be all over the net by the next morning.
Not even joking, right? Watch how much shit they send you.
If it's a good enough letter, like to convince people to go, oh, you know what? That sounds like a good company. I fucking
there you go. You see, it's it's a nice little brighten up of somebody's day. And it's not even a complaint. It's just you're sending a positive email. But my theory is you'll probably be rewarded more. For doing it that way. Anyway,
we'll send you tickets to our next ball.
Our next ball, 100th episode ball, and again, we want your fan art. If you're a creative type of person, and you feel like you could make us something or draw us something, you can be digital or just post it. We've had some lovely messages regarding the 100th episode, and basically, we've even got some listeners sending us some stuff. So if you want to get creative and get involved with the show,
come on down.
We'll be showing it off in the gallery. So show us your show us your stuff, man. Show us your creative chops. And send it via email, or if you want to send it digitally, or like I say, if you want to send something physically, DM me or email us at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com, and we'll sort out the address for you.
Yes.
Oh my God. Too much info.
Take a breath.
Right. Well, all right then. Ooh. I'll take a breath. Right. But first,
take a sip of my coffee.
I've got a riddle for you.
Oh yes, riddle me.
Well, I've actually got you 2 riddles, but I'm only going to ask you one.
All right.
Okay. I'm just trying to work out which one's going to bamboozle you the most.
Yeah, which one's the worst?
All right.
Well, if I can answer it straight away, bang, there you are.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll ask you this one, right?
Easy one, I bet.
This 5-letter word,
right,
becomes shorter when you add 2 letters to it.
Ah, right. Okay. I'm thinking it's going to have one of them fucking lines in between them.
No.
Add 2 letters to it.
So this 5-letter word becomes shorter when you add 2 letters to it.
You mean like something like junior?
How do you mean? No.
No, okay.
It's a 5-letter word that becomes shorter when you add 2 letters to it.
So it'd be a 3-letter word afterwards.
Well, you've got the rest of the show to work it out.
So it's not then. You just
give
it away.
I
got my fucking...
Got my head on. Well, all right then. Well, you can work that out. If you get it,
I don't think
then well done. You smart ass.
I think. I mean, they're like, what fucking word?
You adequately confused.
No. I'm basically thinking that you add the 2 letters, but then something else is going to have to happen in between.
I think, like normally, you're thinking about it the wrong way.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So I've gone too deep into it when I should have been like just looking on the surface.
You've jumped in the deep end when
what can I say?
When the answer could be right under your nose. Yeah.
Oh right. Oh.
Okay.
You sneaky bastard. Okay.
Well, while you're thinking about that, I'll just give you the intro to the main topic, shall I?
You do that, son. You do that.
The Doomsday Clock, the iconic Doomsday Clock, symbolises grave peril facing humankind. It's closer to midnight than it ever has been since the point of its creation back in 1947. And, it underscores the need for action. The time on the Doomsday Clock is now expressed in seconds rather than minutes.
Yeah.
So, it's bit of a dodgy sort of situation.
Yeah.
It's now standing at 100 seconds to midnight.
That's what.
And we'll explain to you what that exactly means during the show.
Yeah.
So, what do you know about the Doomsday Clock in terms of like?
I know they've changed their category.
How do you? Oh yeah, they did, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously the Doomsday Clock was
very recently as well. I think
based on
2017, something like that.
Well, most people think that the Doomsday Clock is nuclear, which they're right.
Yeah, it did start off that way.
But since the last couple of years, they've been putting on a lot of different
let's just
elements.
Say, since Trump's entered the office, he's actually been put on the list as well.
Has he?
Yeah.
What, as a reason for...
one of the reasons.
A catalyst?
Yeah.
Well, there's actually a quote that I've got a bit later on in the show about why they've changed it this year.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. The iconic clock, I mean, as I say, the Doomsday Clock's origins can be traced back to an international group of researchers known as the Chicago Atomic Scientists.
Yeah.
All of these scientists participated in the Manhattan Project. We've talked about the Manhattan Project before. We'll go into it a little bit more in a second.
Yeah.
But the Doomsday Clock was actually inspired by the wife of one of the founders of the society.
Yeah.
She was an artist by trade. Her name was Marilyn Langdorf, and she was the wife of Manhattan Project physicist
Lambeth Jr.
One of the physicists.
Yeah.
She came up with the idea of symbolising the urgency by using a clock. As far as setting the clock to 7 minutes past, which was what it was originally set to back in 1947.
Yeah.
She basically said it was simply a matter of good design. So, in terms of kind of like...
I mean, back then you could say that, but...
Well, yeah, because it's like... Now. Well, yeah, because she's trying to...
she's trying to warn and give people information before something else
okay,
happens.
if you're heading out of the house, right, you give yourself 10 minutes, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
right?
roughly, yeah.
If your Doomsday Clock's designed with the clock at 22 or 1:45, it's not urgent. Yeah, you want it to have a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
7 minutes past, or 7 minutes to, is almost like, shit, I needed to be out the door 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, but I still got to have a poo.
Yeah,
so I've still got to do something else. So
but that's what I'm saying. It's like it almost gives it that sense of urgency in the graphic.
Yeah.
And the graphic design, it's like you see the clock. Oh, it's not even. It's past 10.
Yeah, so you suck it up and get out of that fucking door.
Exactly. Yeah, right. So I mean, the idea that she used as a clock, was quite, it's simple but quite ingenious.
It's simple and effective.
Do you know what the actual symbol or the actual Bulletin's symbol was gonna be?
No. Let me guess. Is it one of them clock? One of them fucking timer things, sun timers. That was going to be
like an hourglass. No, actually, the clock was almost a U, the chemical symbol for uranium.
Oh,
but Landau realised that the clock would be better, obviously conveying the sense of urgency and looming nuclear danger. The U, you'd
effective.
Be kind of like, what's that about?
Yeah, that's like going down the road and watching your fucking car.
It's not got the symbolism. Do you know what I mean? So, like the idea of a clock, a ticking clock.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't update a U. It's like what? It's 2 minutes to Y. X, W, Y. I don't know. I forgot the alphabet now. Fucking hell. It's one of them days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's after U?
Is it T?
Yeah. It's quarter to T.
Is it V?
Fuck no.
Yeah, I can't fucking remember. Actually.
Do you know what? How absolute...
Look on your phone. On the keypad.
I can't be bothered.
You'll be on that.
Can't be bothered now.
Well,
according to Kenneth Benedict, who basically says he's the Bulletin's executive director.
Yeah.
And he basically said that it was almost a U, the chemical symbol for uranium. But a lot of people gave, obviously, Albert Einstein credit for the creation of the group or the creation of the atomic doomsday clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. But obviously, I think this is just mainly down to the fact that he had a lot of input in the Manhattan Project.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And he was one of the original scientists who kind of was involved in that.
Yeah.
So I assume he would have had something to do with it. I mean, in August 1939, Albert Einstein sent a letter to the US President Franklin Roosevelt, basically advising him to prepare and, and that the process of nuclear fission could potentially be used to create power and atomic bombs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So the letter often is called the Einstein Stiltzard letter, and was basically by a physicist called Leo Szilard and Einstein, in an attempt to warn the president about the Nazi Germany movement.
Yeah.
And they'd be working on a fission bomb, and that the US should begin immediately on its own nuclear weapons research.
Yeah.
So,
I think.
The Manhattan Project was a research and development undertaking during World War II that produced the first nuclear weapons. It obviously led to the US with having as many as it's got now.
Less than what they used to have.
Well, the thing is,
getting rid of them.
Well, how are they getting rid of them?
They're destroying them.
Well, how do you destroy a nuclear weapon?
I'm sorry, I'm no expert, and if I was, I'd have to kill you if I told you.
Well, the thing is, it's like, I don't understand why
basically they're probably fucking burying
these
it
countries
somewhere.
feel the need to have this many nuclear weapons as it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it was the case. Yeah, but now in this day and age, there's a more problem of an issue with them than there was back then, because now there's more countries that have got them. You're not talking like the two major countries that had like 33,000 in Russia and like 24 in America.
So, I mean, everyone goes on about Einstein being this sort of great guy who's like, really clever, smart, came out with all these theories. And then it's like, but then he's advising the president that nuclear weapons are a good idea.
Yeah, but look how many... Yeah, but this is what I was saying about, technology from, like, spaceships and that. And let's say we got a battery that we can use for, like, 50 years, one small battery. But that could actually be potentially be used for a nuclear bomb blast as well.
Well, it's funny, actually, because it was power. Like, we talked about, the the Operation Paperclip and how all these Nazi scientists were brought in after the war. Sounds like they had a pretty kind of good grasp on it.
Yeah.
No, not the Nazi scientists. I'm talking about the... Right, this happened in 1939 when Albert Einstein wrote the letter to President Roosevelt saying, we need our own nuclear research team. Yeah, right. 13 scientists were selected. Yeah. This was before the war ended. This was before Operation Paperclip. Yeah. So it sounded like they had a pretty good grasp on things, all things told. Yeah. We give a lot of credit to the fact that these Nazi scientists were the ones who got us to the moon and all the rest of it. Yeah. When, in reality, it was a collaboration. It was the brightest minds from... both sides. Yeah.
Obviously, you brought the technology from America and brought the smart asses from Germany and brought them together, and you made a nice item or a destructive item. Well, or any kind of item, really.
I mean, talking about destructive items, the Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Oh, yeah, the anniversary.
Which is the anniversary, actually. Yeah. Was it 70 years?
75 years.
75 years. Yeah. Well, after the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki... they began publishing newsletters and magazines called the Bulletin of Atomic Science, which since its inception has always had the clock on the cover.
Yeah.
The clock was first represented represented in 1947.
Yeah.
When the Bulletin co-founder Hyman Goldsmith asked artist Landorf, his wife at the time.
Paints a picture.
Oh, well, she was the wife of the Manhattan Project researcher.
Yeah.
To design the cover of the magazine. So, and it's basically, it got redesigned in 2007, but it's been the clock ever since, and it's always kind of like got a sort of iconic symbolism now, hasn't it?
I'd say so.
Well, I think most people, if you showed them that clock, I mean, because it's only the portion of that sort of quarter of the face, that if you're showing it someone, they'd probably have a good idea what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, because what can you do in 15 minutes?
Well, I know a few things.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Twice, mate, twice.
But obviously, do you know, this was redesigned. Also, once the Soviet Union atomic weapons started coming out, the concern surrounding, the world's destruction.
That's why we went straight into the Cold War.
What?
Straight after World War to a Cold War. Straight in because of the development of the nuclear weapons from...
Well, yeah, Russia. Totally. I mean, I've got the timeline. We'll go into that in a minute. But, like, in terms of, like, people's attitude towards a nuclear holocaust or a nuclear end of the world.
Yeah, right? It was more scary about that.
I mean, back in the 1960s, 70s, people were fucking, like, even the 50s. Yeah. I mean, say from the 50s onwards, really.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had sort of this sort of fear, I suppose, especially back then. Yeah. Because it was like, there was imminent threat of an attack. Especially in the States. So they'd be like getting all these PSA public service announcements played over the... I mean, we had one. Do you remember there was one that... I can't remember... I was very young when this was on.
Yeah.
And I do seem to remember it being on, but it was like basically talking about what to do in a nuclear situation, yeah. And it was all like, paint a door white, make a little kind of bomb shelter for yourself, because the white paint will reflect the blast and all this.
Lead line
it wasn't that technical,
yeah.
But it made me think of kind of like, there must have been others, and I found this brilliant one actually, so I'm going to play it for you.
Play it, boy.
It's basically a public service announcement from the 1950s, and it's called Duck and Cover, and I just think the message on it is brilliant, because at the end of the day, you have a listen and tell me if you'd feel confident.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, sorry about this.
danger, certainly he never got hurt. He knew just what to do. He ducked and covered, ducked and covered. He did what we all must learn to do. You and you and you and you. Duck and cover.
Duck and cover.
Sounds like something that come from...
Remember what Bert the Turtle just did, friends, because every one of us must remember to do the same thing. That's what this film is all about. Duck and cover.
Duck and cover.
Civil defense film produced in cooperation with the Federal Civil Defense Administration.
Sounds like something that come from
with the
37
of the National Education Association. Produced by Archer Productions Incorporated.
Go on, son. Archer's Productions.
The thing is with these, right? I mean, the fact that it's just giving you this sort of little bit of information, duck and cover, guys, right? It's like, what the fuck's that going to do?
Nothing but, well, it's to try and, it's to try and calm you down in the situation. What else did they want you to do? Run around like headless chickens going like, fuck it, right, you know what, I didn't like my neighbour, I'm going to fucking stab that gun.
Fucking hell, taking it to a dark place, Taylor.
Well, yeah,
what I'm saying is, it's like,
minute.
the thing is, well, no, you'd go home and hug your loved ones, obviously.
Well, yeah, but you get some psychos out there as well, you know what I mean? And some people who are like a bit aggressive.
The case is, right, it's information that is literally just going to make you stay at home, put your head between your knees, and hope for the best. Like, this doorway or ducking under a table.
Yeah, because we had no internet, so you wouldn't have got 5 minutes, he's
to do a bit
over.
of research on it and have a look into it.
Yeah, just
properly.
go, right, let me paint this and do this before it hits us. Yeah, so back then they didn't have the information structure to pass around to everyone like they have now as well, so you've got to consider,
Well, I don't think that was going to save your life.
I don't. But
I mean, being a little tortoise and sticking your head in your shell is not gonna help, is it? Really?
If it gives one person the confidence to, I could get through this, then it's done its job.
Well,
at the end of the day, that's what his job was supposed to do, to calm people down. And if it's done that to at least one person, it's done.
Do you know that the Doomsday Clock was actually operated and sorted out by one man for 20 years?
Oh, no.
Yeah. For one man decided, basically dedicated his life, basically 20 years. Eugene Rabinowitz, born 1901, died 1973. After his death, the Bulletin Science and Security Board took over the responsibility.
Yeah, so have 13 people talk about it instead of just having the one person.
Well, it wasn't that. I think he just kind of he was the one who
the one who calculated it out, because don't forget they like nowadays they look for future stuff as well.
What?
They look for future stuff, if a company tomorrow comes out with I don't know, some kind of chemical to use and it's going to help all this infection and shit, but then they don't know the side effects after that. Side effects of that, so they've got to calculate, this company's bringing out this new big stuff that everyone's going to have, but what is going to be the after effects as well.
I wonder really, actually, I mean, in terms of what the basis of setting it is, what they look for, and I mean, we've got some information about this, but the fact that, all right, we'll take this year for example, right? This was in January.
Can you pick out a year?
As of January 2020, this 22nd of January 2020, the Doomsday Clock was moved to 100 seconds before midnight, the closest approach to midnight since the clock's conception, and the closest it's been since 1953. So, it's...
What do you reckon it is right now?
That's what I'm saying. It's like this was in January, and they didn't know what was coming for the rest of 2020. Now they do meet twice a year, so they've probably discussed all this. I
think they have done it in October before. I
reckon they probably will, and I'm wondering where they'd set the clock, because, like I say, it's not all about nuclear disaster. They do factor in stuff like climate change, biohazards, human, political,
cyber tech.
Oh, AI, has actually been added to the list.
Added,
and if you're right, Donald Trump, you know. So
it's officially written on there. Donald Trump is added on there that he's one of the reasons why it's gone so high in that.
Well, it's actually, so it's international events that be considered dangerous to humankind, such as nuclear threat. The clock's actually been adjusted several times over the years. It's been adjusted 22 times, in fact, since its inception in 1947, when it was set to 7 minutes to midnight.
Yeah.
So, like I say, you know, what would you think, you know, would be the basis for a doomsday clock settings? What would you kind of base it on?
Well, I think a lot of that, what they said, climate change. Well, not necessarily climate change, because they're not. Obviously, they're not going to add the factor of like global dimming. They do global warming, but I don't think they do global dimming. But
I think there's various things to take into consideration.
The poison. I mean, like the nuclear power station in Japan that went up and poisoned the waters. And it's still like poisoning the waters. I mean, everywhere is.
It's crazy though, because
that would be added.
The global, obviously, the what's considered a global catastrophe is determined by the board and the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists. They decide what it means every year. Yeah. So the last Bulletin briefing basically changed. Happened in 2020.
Yeah.
But over the years, they've changed what they use to calculate the risk of a global disaster.
Yeah.
So also, you know, factors can take in, like we say, politics, energy, weapons, diplomacy, climate sciences. And like I say, I wonder what they'd make of it now, and what would they where would they put us on the clock?
What would you put on the clock right now?
Well, if they put us up at a minute and a half, like at the beginning of the year, a minute 40 seconds, I'd say we're at least a minute, you know, because this year, I mean, but the thing is,
I'd say 50.
We'll go into this. I mean, we'll have a look at some of the reasons and some of the actual timeline of the clock,
changes,
and some of the changes. Now, when it started, like I say, the clock was
ticking.
Where the clock is ticking always, but they set it for 7 minutes to its initial setting of the clock. By 1949, 2 years later, they had to knock 4 minutes off that. So it dropped down to 3 minutes. I think they maybe was just a bit optimistic with the start. And this was due to the Soviet Union's test of the first atomic bomb, the RDS-1, officially starting the nuclear arms race. Okay, so by 1953, the United States test their first thermonuclear device in November 1952. Obviously, this is starting to...
showing they've got some bollocks. Yeah, you've got a big one, I've got even bigger.
So it went down again by another one, but then it all kind of started chilling out again in the 1960s. They give it +5 back up to 7, right? So, you know... this carries on with ups and downs. In 1963, we were +5, so we were up to 12 minutes past.
I'm surprised on that, because JFK.
Well, this was down to the United States and the Soviet Union signing the
treaty,
the Patriot Test Ban Treaty, which meant that they were neither of them were allowed.
And that's due for renewal.
So, but then... the involvement in the Vietnam War brought them back up, and then we end up being in a situation where we lose 5 points again, and we're back at 7 minutes past, or 7 minutes to.
7
so this dynamic goes on, and we go from between 10, 9, 7, 4 minutes, 3 minutes back in 1984. That was the lowest it had been for a decade.
But weren't that because there was a thing, wasn't there, with America, with Ronald Reagan and Russia? There was a bit.
Well, it was ongoing Soviet Afghani war, the Cold War. Ronald Reagan was basically pushing to win the Cold War.
Yeah, because America decided to do business with the Taliban, and at that time they got promised that they were going to get Stinger rockets, which are ground-to-air missiles, which are bob-on brilliant missiles, but instead they got RPGs. Well, pop rockets that fucking you need to have a perfect shot at that range.
Do you know what the best year was in terms of doomsday nuclear threat?
If I'm right, 1991.
You are fucking spot on, son. 1991, 17 minutes past, or 2 even. I keep doing that. The United States and the Soviet Union signed the first strategic arms reduction treaty. Back then, which meant obviously they were going to start dismantling nuclear bombs,
which they're still doing to this day,
stuff like that. But it's fucked up because we've still got so many.
Yeah, but the thing is, you get rid of one, keep the material,
and you
put it in a new one.
It's even like look at.
You're just buying a new shell. That's it. And get shitloads of money for it.
Ukraine? Yeah. So the Ukraine, they had nukes, right, and then
part of Russia,
right, but Russia turned around to them and said, "Nah, you give us your nukes, we won't invade you or anything like that. You live there, no worries."
I'm actually surprised you know about it.
They took the nukes off them, and then invaded. Well, didn't invade them.
They took it. They took them over.
They stepped foot, and they shouldn't have. And you know what I mean? It's like they're taking the piss a bit. It's like you can't. But this is the thing: they wouldn't step when they had them. Yeah, but as soon as they took them, disarmed them.
So it proves that it's a deterrent.
Of course, it's a deterrent.
It absolutely proves it.
And I think if one of the countries had them and the other one didn't, they probably would have used them by now.
Answer me this.
But it's not the point, is it? If we didn't, neither of them had it. It all comes down to who's got a bigger stick.
Out of Europe, which countries have got nuclear weapons?
France.
Who's in Europe now?
The UK. I'm going to say Germany. I'll probably say...
Germany? Really?
Maybe,
Germany?
Yeah,
really?
Maybe.
No.
They're the most likely.
Nah, it was only, I don't know, about 20 years ago, they were allowed an army back.
Oh, right, okay.
Well, you were right, it's France and England. Now, if France didn't have any nuclear weapons, right, do you really, really think Europe would have turned around and gone, right, we're going to put these demands on you, we're going to put these demands on you? They would have been rolling round in hay and doing whatever we wanted, because we would have been the protector.
But we've got nukes, so in that case, so is that why we're America. Able to go, fuck you, we want to leave Europe?
And we've actually got better nukes than America.
Well, we'll go into some of this in a bit, because I've been having a look into the nuke capabilities of the global
We're top domination, arsenal. We just don't brag about it.
It's not about bragging rights. It's like
it has been.
We should...
That's
I'm going to sound like
was.
a fucking peacenik now, but get rid of the nukes, guys.
Yeah.
Make love, not war. So, back to the clock. So, 1998, both India and Pakistan tested nuclear weapons.
Dangerous, because they've had bad situations in the past.
Well, which obviously knocked 5 minutes off.
Yeah. There was actually a threat not that long ago, when it kicked off with China and that.
Really?
Yeah.
And obviously, it's been literally going downhill since the noughties kicked in. Since 2002. Yeah. Which dropped. 2002 was when it was at last at its starting point, 7 minutes to. Yeah. There was little progress on the global nuclear disarmament. The United States rejects a series of arms control treaties and withdraws from the anti-ballistic missile treaty. Yeah. So obviously not 2 minutes off for that. Yeah. But funny enough, you'd think that when the World Trade Center happened, that would have
gone down.
That would have they would have added a few minutes up and made it closer, and it didn't move that year. Yeah. It was only the next year when 2002 dropped 2 points. They were at 9 in 1998. And it didn't move since 1998 to 2002, where it dropped 2 minutes and dropped down back to its original starting place.
They probably didn't know what reaction was going to happen, what the Americans were going to do. But then when they declared... Thing, but
like I say, they didn't really do anything. It was all about, the fact that United States... The fact that they went to war in Afghanistan or were fighting a war on terrorism... didn't matter a hill of beans, in terms of what affected the Doomsday Clock, because what they're saying is the reasons why they knocked 2 minutes off that year back in 2002 was because the United States were rejecting arms embargoes, treaties, basically pulling out of treaties like the anti-ballistic missile treaty.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't really kind of, in terms of like going to war or terrorism, it didn't even factor, in the movement of the Doomsday Clock. You know, in terms of, it always seemed to be nuclear weapons related. So, like, again, 2007, drop another 2 minutes because North Korea started testing nuclear weapons in October 2006.
Some as well.
Iran nuclear, basically, testing, ambitions. America's basic, you know, arming to the teeth. It's getting to the point where we're starting to look like we're coming into another Cold War situation.
Yeah,
we eventually did.
Yeah.
So every year since then, it started getting a minute here, a minute there. We gained a minute back in 2010.
Yeah. But then we I believe we missed. We lost 30 seconds the year after, I believe.
I think we lost the 30 seconds in 2017.
Was it 17?
And this was down to Donald Trump's comments over nuclear weapons, the threat of renewed arms race between the US and Russia.
Yeah.
So,
and
you know,
in fact,
but then they started to actually factor in the climate change. Obviously,
they've been listening to that little young girl who don't know nothing.
Probably. But basically expressed belief in the scientific concern over climate change by the Trump administration. This was the first use of a factor that was non-nuclear at that time.
Yeah.
So obviously now they start factoring these things. Obviously. Now, this is when we start getting into really quite interesting grounds, because like I say, it's always been quite you know,
nuclear.
Oh, this guy's started testing nukes. We'll move the clock, right? The statements from 2018 and 2019 have been, from 2018 have just been great. So, the failure of the world leaders to deal with looming threats. So it's pointing the finger,
fucking
point blank.
Right, that's why we're
threats
rioting
against
on the
nuclear
streets.
war, climate change.
Yeah, because they're going to be all nice and cozy while the rest of us fucking suffer.
Yeah, and that is both entries, so 2018 and 2020 start the failure of world leaders to deal with fucking threats. Yeah. And
fucking
if 2020 has not taught us anything, it's
going downhill,
exactly
and we need to fucking do something about it.
So this marked, obviously, the change of minutes to seconds, the closest approach to midnight, matching the threat back in 1953. And 2019, basically, they put it at 2 minutes to. That was the closest, and that's quite a scary prospect in terms of like the closest we've ever been to an impending disaster.
Doomsday.
But now we're even closer still, and like you say, 2020 is, if anything to go by. Do you think that they will be moving the clock forward?
I'd have to agree, sort of like you. You'd have to be honest, I would have to put a minute. It would have to be a minute or 50 seconds, something like that. Not much lower than that. I reckon around about that area that we're going to be at.
But do you think that by moving right? So if you think about
half
the original,
of what
if you think about the original conception of the clock, right? What her message? What
she did.
But what was her aim? She wanted to create a sense of urgency regarding the importance of this message. Now, don't get me if I'm wrong. If they turn around to us and said, "Look, right, we're going to set the clock now to 30 seconds to midnight, right? This is the closest it's ever fucking been, right? And after the year we've all just had, don't you think you should open your eyes and start making a change and taking fucking responsibility?" Exactly. You know, because
you're buying your groceries off and stuff like that.
Exactly. Just small things.
They're all doing it for money.
Because the fact is, it's like that is going to set a sense of urgency.
I think people are opening up a little bit. Thankfully through this, I think some people are opening up. I don't think enough are, but I think there are a lot more people opening their eyes. And then there are a few other people who are looking down the rabbit hole and going, oh, Jesus, look at all this. But the thing is, when you hit that rabbit hole, you can't get out of the fucker. Because then you see it everywhere. You see all the shit that's been going on. But I think more and more people should open their eyes. And I think it is slightly, it's been the time that a few people have now.
Yeah.
And it will take the masses to do the change, not the few that talk about it. So we need the masses on board to turn around and what they've been doing, protesting. Well, that's our right to turn around and say, look, we put you in the office, you're doing a shit job, sort it out.
Yeah, definitely.
Or you're fucking out. But they're always protected.
Well,
so
the thing is, if you're going to vote, look, the fact is we're a fucking a fast food nation of pop culture and all the rest of it.
Yeah, they will keep you busy, right?
And we elect monkeys, man. We elect fucking idiots and clowns, right? Because the famous, or because it's Kanye West or Donald Trump or whoever.
He's the same as you and me.
You know what I mean? And it's we it's all popular vote. Yeah. And it's like, oh yeah, you're gonna vote for Trump just because it's Trump. Or you're going to vote for Kanye West because you liked his last album.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Just...
It's stupid because when it comes down the line, this is why they put stuff like the failure of world leaders to deal with looming threats. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because they don't know their asses from their elbows.
Oh yeah.
So
I had a discussion with my nieces today. It was one of them that what can I say here? Because my niece turned around and she goes, Donald Trump dies on the 27th. And it was like, what? Do you know how much he's done for kids and adults at the moment? And she's gone.
Why? What's he done?
Well, all the pedos that have been fucking locked down, all the.
To be honest, right? If they were going to get locked up, they'd be getting locked up. Yeah, but anyway, do you know what I mean? If that investigation was coming to a close, and the FBI and whoever else was dealing with it.
Who ain't dealing with it?
Well, who's dealing with it?
Well, he sent out a task force.
Is Donald Trump going out personally?
He did a task force. He sent out a task force to sort out these criminals, and he's gone out and he's actually taken.
Donald Trump
took down
task force,
the biggest and the second biggest.
Not that long ago,
took human traffickers down. He's took all that, so he has done stuff. Yeah, but people don't recognise it because it's not being told.
Oh well, this is the stuff that should be told. Then, if he's actually doing good stuff, but but he
doesn't because they don't want him in the office. So he's always got to be the bastard.
Guy. Well, he's not the bastard. He's just a nitwit.
He's not the brightest tool in the shed, but he's been better than the dickheads who've been ripping people off. In the past.
Well, opinions on Trump aside, the fact of the matter is, I mean, I'm not being funny, but I mean, the people on this scientific academy, atomic scientist committee.
Is it from the University of California?
It's made up of 13 Nobel Prize winners.
Yeah.
It's not exactly like a bunch of idiots or a load of frat boys. Exactly. Yeah, whatever.
Throw a few dollars in there, let's say.
It's smart people, right? They're not like, nitwits.
Yeah, but
I think, you should be listening to these people, but what are you going to do? Where are we up to? I mean, the fact of the matter is, the Doomsday Clock, I mean, it's there for a reason. It's supposed to give you a heads up, right? Yeah. But
it's recognition of what's been going on.
Have you not noticed a pattern emerging throughout all the changes and the reasons why the clock changed?
Well, yeah, there's been lots of different reasons.
It's because our governments have made the wrong decisions.
Yeah. Ultimately,
that is why the clock has been moved forward, right? They've rather developed things they shouldn't have really developed. They've got into stalemates with other countries. Yeah. They've polluted. They've fucking done dodgy deals with oil companies.
Robbed countries blind.
Exactly, yeah. And then the fact is, even now, Yeah.
People,
our current people in power, Trump, Boris, whatever, whoever's in charge, right, are still failing to do stuff about the important issues.
And yet their pockets are still getting full.
And this is coming from 13 fucking, Nobel Prize winners, right? I'm not being funny. Take notice. Yeah. Here's a quote from this year's Bulletin from January. Humanity continues to face two extinction-level dangers, nuclear war and climate change, that are compounded by the threat multiplier.
Yeah.
Cyber enabled information warfare that undercuts society's ability to respond. The initial security situation is dire.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Not just because of these threats, exist, but because the world leaders have allowed the international political infrastructure for managing them to erode.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's these guys. They're not even saying, they've just called it how it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, basically,
and they've said the reason why we're in this situation is
got
summed up
running
in one paragraph.
Yeah.
The fact that the looming dangers of nuclear war and climate change, they've not done anything about it. Couple that with the fact that our information's being abused and being fucking stolen from other countries.
And being used against you more than anything. Not
also,
just taking it, using it.
Yeah, there's too much. The fact is, in adjusting the Doomsday Clock, it don't come to a single event. Obviously, it's no matter how positive or negative.
Not until the Earth cracks.
Like I said earlier, after the attack of September the 11th, 2001, the Bulletin didn't adjust the clock. But it was the next year, and and obviously even like the threat of terrorism led.
Well,
but
it was a war on terror.
But it was the threat of terrorism that led them to withdraw from the anti-ballistic missile treaty. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they've pulled themselves out of that because they might need their ballistic missiles. And if they've signed a treaty, they don't want to be going against the treaty because they probably get sanctions.
Well, so because they've moved it to Turkey, haven't they? They've moved some ballistic missile defence to Turkey. But if you remember, I think it was the 90s or the early 90s, they tried putting some in Poland, and Russia weren't having any of it. They turned around and basically, you put one there, we're going to send it off, bang. We're going to start the nuke off.
Well, this is
away.
the thing, isn't it? Setting yourselves up at little bases.
And
we've talked about UK. The UK's got a couple of United States bases. Menwith Hill being a joint op with the UK government and Medvedev. The UK's most secret spy base. If you want to go and check out that episode. Obviously, that they've pulled out of the missile treaty. Plus, global terrorism was a factor, but. It was only kind of a minimal factor in terms of everything else that was going on. But you would have thought that initial year, 2001, would have made them think, shit, that's a big disaster, that.
Yeah,
that
but I think it was a change
something off.
When Bush turned around and said, we declare war on terror. Well, it was the declare war, I think, that set it off, I would have thought.
Do you know what? Even the Cuban Missile Crisis back in 1962 didn't cause the shift in the
clock.
Yeah,
I was going to say, that was a bit... I would have thought, and when you said the closest was 53, I thought, well, it must be that, but the years just
no, because instead, basically over that next year, it led to a new treaty limiting nuclear testing. So basically, it caused a minute of the hand to move back rather than forward. So even though it was a crisis, and
but they're not doing it hour by hour, are they? Really, they're doing it by
no. But this is it. It's even bi-yearly.
The good and the bad.
They can do it every 2 years, and the thing is, it's like the Cuban Missile Crisis happened, but it led to a resolution
at the end of it.
Exactly. So it's like, all right, well, we'll shave a couple of minutes off. It could have gone either way.
Do
you know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. It's like a big event doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be shifting the clock to the midnight hour.
Yeah, I suppose most people would think that just one major event would actually change the clock that much.
Oh, talking about
like
events.
9/11.
I mean, we were talking earlier about Nagasaki, Hiroshima.
Yeah.
Do you know what the bomb was? How powerful that bomb was?
25.
Well, it was around 15 kilotons.
Right.
The little boy was the code name for this type of atomic bomb dropped on the Japanese city of Hiroshima on the 6th of August 1945 during World War II. It was the first nuclear weapon to be ever used in warfare, and the bomb was dropped by Boeing B-29 Super Fortress Enola Gay. Enola Gay, piloted by Colonel Paul W. and Tibbets Jr., commander of the 509th.
Yeah. See.
So basically, he was Air Force captain.
Do you know where they were
Air
based?
Force captain A. Lewis was there as well. It exploded with an energy of approximately 15 kilotons of TNT. So go on, where were they based?
They were based in Roswell.
Were they?
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, they were based in Roswell, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, because that's the place where they supposedly sent the craft first.
Well, it basically exploded, creating widespread death and destruction throughout the city of Hiroshima, bombing, and obviously made a right mess.
Yeah.
But the thing is, do you know, like...
Both together, 130,000 people died on direct impact.
But the Hiroshima bomb was only the second nuclear bomb to be detonated on the Earth. They had only done the Trinity test once. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it was like, let's drop one. Can't wait.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like one test.
Well, they've been messing with hydrogen.
Maybe it was like, shit, we don't want to do more than one test.
Well, they've been messing with hydrogen and atomic bombs. They've been they experimented with both, but then one of them sends out radiation, so it's more effective against the enemy than if you just blew them up.
Yeah, fair dues. Well, the Trinity was the code name for the first detonation of a nuclear device. It was created by the United States Army, and on the 16th of July 1945, and that was part of the Manhattan Project. Do you know what the most powerful nuke is around
today?
Yeah.
Is it something like 250,000?
What, megatons?
Yeah.
No, it's not that much. It's the Tarsa Bomber.
Is that the American one?
It's a Russian. It's the RDS-220 hydrogen bomb.
Yeah, they showed it not that long ago.
It's 50 megatons, also known as the Tarsa Bomber. It's the biggest, most powerful thermonuclear bomb ever made. It's basically exploded by the Soviet Union on the 30th of October 1961 over the Arctic Sea.
Fuck, man.
The hydrogen bomb was airdropped by a Tu-95 bomber using a falling
effect
reduction parachute.
Oh, right. So it's going to fall. It drops, and then a parachute will open up
that'll
to
be
slow
it
it
to
down.
slow it down. So I mean that actually, when they first detonated it, it was actually 100 megatons, and they had to reduce it by 50% to limit its radioactive dust. Yeah, because otherwise, and that one
fucking knocked out.
When they dropped it, apparently the shockwave went round the planet 3 times. So it was a big blast.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, it's a meteorite would be a lot worse.
So in terms of like Hiroshima, I mean, in comparison to the nukes they've got today, it's pretty small fry. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what? Funny enough, the other week I was watching something, and I seen a couple of nukes going off, and it was like, you know what? That's like absolutely nothing to compare to what if we drop one today, it would be absolutely devastating.
Do you remember when they dropped a nuke on the moon not long ago?
Yeah, a kinetic...
what was that about? Because it was like, all of a sudden they were like, we're going to drop a nuke on the moon. Why are you doing that? No reason. And then it was like, we've got these specific coordinates, and they dropped it. It was all live, and then they said, we're going to see a plume in a minute. We're going to see a plume, and then fuck all happened.
Yeah, well, it was a bit of a distance away, you know what I mean?
It doesn't matter, but I mean...
You would have thought they would have got more imaging, closer on the area.
You would have tried to get a GoPro in.
Yeah, but then they don't want you to see what they're shooting at.
Well, true, but I reckon they were trying to bomb something there.
You know what I do, because there is no other reason for that to have happened.
No, not at all.
I'm questioning, though, why did they actually decide to put it on the internet and actually...
Show everyone.
Why would they do that?
I know. Because it's like, I mean, fair enough, there might be some people who'd go, what are you trying to do? You're going to break the moon. We need the moon. But they didn't. They just went, nah, look, guys, we're going to drop a nuke on the moon.
They didn't do it in a test range
this
in
specific
the 50s.
crater. Yeah. And then nothing happened, and we heard nothing else about it.
Yeah.
I thought that was dodgy. But in a side note, Elon Musk has got a bit of a wish list. He's basically, a few years ago, he went on the SpaceX CEO. He went on the Late Show with Steve Colbert.
Yeah.
And he was discussing, like, traveling to Mars, getting up there, and all the rest of it. And he basically was asking him. He said, "Look, you're rich, yeah, you're mega rich,
yeah.
You're either a Batman or a supervillain." Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
With the shit you're doing. Yeah. Right. You're either Iron Man or you're a supervillain. Yeah. And he's like, just got ideas. I just want to do stuff. And he's trying to be modest and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But he says, well, why do you want to go to Mars? It's like barren and all this. You'll have to live in bubble pods. And he was like, no, because we'll terraform it. He's like, well, how are you going to terraform it? He goes, well, there's the long way and the short way.
Yeah.
So he says, well, what's the short way? And he says, well, we just drop a thermonuclear device on each pole of the planet.
That's probably what they were testing.
And that superheats it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means it'll
melt all the ice.
It'll sort itself out. Yeah. It'll get an atmosphere and all the rest of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of basically at that
point, Stephen Colbert's like, you're a villain. You're a supervillain.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like terraforming as a concept. I mean, I'm sure there's better ways. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's not better ways. It's the fastest way, and it's the same with business. Fastest way to gain the money.
Yeah, fast isn't always better.
I totally agree with you. You need a step by step. Don't just jump, leap, and bound. But at the end of the day, it's all going to be about money, innit?
And it's still not.
Have you seen the picture? Have you seen the picture of the islands?
I've not yet, and I'm going to actually have a look because, I remember you telling me earlier that there was a map of
looks like
what
two
Mars
Russia's like
terraformed looks like,
basically.
would look like even.
Yeah.
Because I suppose they're able to kind of fill in the oceans and stuff like that, and obviously,
a lot of ocean.
Well, it'll be sea level, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So what they'll do is they'll calculate how much water. Would
possibly be on the planet,
and then they'll probably just run a generator or some sort of physics simulation.
Yeah, but don't forget,
which fills in all the cavities and stuff.
They think most
showing what landmass would be above the land. I mean, above the ocean, even.
But they think most of our water come from meteorites and stuff. So that might not hold that much water. It might hold a certain amount of water, and that water might run out soon as he drops a bomb and it goes, right, I'm going up to the fucking atmosphere and fucking up. You know what I mean? So you need an atmosphere as well. It's thin atmosphere, but you need to thicken it up.
Well, he's still going with the idea anyway. I mean, the concept.
Who gives him the right to fucking throw a bomb into another planet?
Yeah. Who made him King of Mars?
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's like me turning around and going, right, Poland, I'm going to come over there and go kick your ass.
Yeah, or I'm just going to fire this bomb at Pluto. Yeah. Do you mind? Does anyone mind?
The moon's mine from now on. Anyone wants to go near it, fucking storm.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who gives him right to claim Mars by any stretch of the imagination? Yeah, come on, Musk. Is it first get there, got dibs?
That's it.
Do you know
that is it.
That is literally it, isn't it?
At the minute, there are 3 crafts on the way there with drones, and there's
reminds me of Eddie Izzard. It's like, yes, I've come here to your country. He's like, well, we already live here. He's like, but do you have a flag?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have a flag, do you? There you go. It's ours now.
Stop.
Anyway. He's still kicking around the concept, musky boy.
Yeah.
He tweeted recently Nuke Mars. And then
fucking nutter.
And then followed it up with another tweet a couple of minutes later saying T-shirts coming soon.
Yeah. Yeah, can we see it? Is it going to be...
Get your ass to Mars.
It's pay-per-view. Pay-per-view watching Mars get, melt.
Oh. So, bottom line is, where do you think we're going with the Doomsday Clock? Do you think we should stop the clock? Do you think we should stop the clock? No. Or do you think we should we honour it and keep going?
You know what?
What happens when it gets to... Just wait a minute. What happens when the scientists say, "Oh, we're 1 second to midnight"? Does somebody have to push the button just out of principle?
Oh, don't say that, because it can be done by an accident.
It's tempting fate, isn't it? I mean, you're basically saying, "Yeah, right. Well, we're calculating that Doomsday's coming next week, so somebody best get on it." And then when it doesn't happen, it's like, "Well, what do we do?" Well, it's been at 1 second to midnight. It's midnight.
A load of
or did they only change it to midnight once the button's been pushed? Is that the deal?
No, it should hit midnight and then more.
Yeah,
then
but that's tempting fate.
Decision.
It's 10 past.
After that.
It's 10 past. We're going all the way around again.
Yeah, but don't forget, there was declassified information that come out a couple of years ago that stated that 8 times we nearly set off a nuclear weapon over mistakes.
Just by... Yeah, but that's why I thought we have launch codes and like double keys and all the rest of it. I've seen it in movies where you've got one guy in fucking Czechoslovakia and one guy in fucking in Birmingham, both turning a key at the same time.
There's one code that stops it.
Have you got the launch codes, comrade?
And there was even one time where it was down to the person he decided not to press the button. Where he should have been pressing the button. Yeah. Which it would have fucked everyone up, and accidents happen. We're only human, man. It's going to happen at one point.
Accidents happen.
Yeah, we're only human. When do you know that anybody who's never done something wrong? We always make mistakes on shit. We're only human. Humans always make mistakes.
Human error, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I leaned on the button. Just don't let that guy in the room.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah.
If got a guy,
throw Mr. Bean in there.
If you've got a guy who's likely to lean on the button, just don't let him in the room.
Yeah. Donald Trump's mate.
Give Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Jinx. Yeah. Well, we're going to have to stop it there anyway. That was all the info we could fit in the episode on the Doomsday Clock.
Oh, apart from...
It was a bit of a slow start, but we got there in the end.
It's going to cost 1.2 trillion for the next about next 20 years for America to keep their nuclear weaponry up
Just get rid of them.
And it looks like the ATT Pact, which is the arms trade agreement, looks like that's coming up for review soon. And I don't think Donald's going to sign that either. Which means Russia, America, China, India, Pakistan, anyone can have one basically.
Free for all.
Well, no, it just he could just turn around and go, right, fire that fucker.
Yeah, true.
He doesn't need permission of anyone else or go through all that.
Right.
That palaver.
You've had a good hour and a bit to think about it. Have you worked out this week's riddle?
Like your...
What?
Oh no, it won't work that one. No, I haven't actually.
You're close, kind of.
I'm kind of,
You're ballparking it. You're ballparking it.
Yeah. I know it's something around them edges.
All right. So this 5-letter word becomes shorter when you add 2 letters.
Yeah.
So.
Harry.
Correct.
Hey, you get
so,
me.
No, but you're thinking of it. What are the 2 letters? What's the word? Short.
Is it short, right?
It's a 5-letter word, which gets longer when you add 2 letters. Oh, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Shorter when you add 2 letters.
You know what I didn't even think of that side. It was straight into, right, where's he put the comma? Where's he put this? Where's he put that? Yeah.
5-letter word that becomes shorter when you add 2 letters.
And all I could think was something like your... And it was like, there's 5 letters.
You got there in the end. We'll sort of. Yeah. We'll give you that one. So what's that? I think we're on. Is it?
It's 2-1.
2-1 to me.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. I've got a bonus riddle.
Yeah, go for it.
You might get this one.
Yeah.
So, which timepiece has the most moving parts?
Trick question.
It is kind of. It's a riddle.
It is. I'm just automatically thinking the second hand, but it's not. It's got to be something else. It's got to be...
What timepiece has the most moving parts?
Timepiece?
Yeah.
What, like clock watch?
Do you want me to give it you?
Go on then.
An hourglass.
Saying I was on about that before.
I know, that's why I thought I'd throw it in there. Right. Yeah, I thought you might have got it just off the sheer sort of coincidence.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have another riddle for you next week. I'm sure you're going to have to bone up on your riddles, so when you come round, you go, I know this one.
I've got riddle books at home.
Got riddle books?
Yeah.
You got
like
riddle
a
books?
riddle here and there, yeah.
Well.
Oh, yeah.
Moving on, we've got a lot to go. We've got some news, and here we go.
Oh, yeah.
It's the news! And as usual, we've scoured the internet for a good couple of minutes to find you the best of this week's weird and wonderful
100 seconds of news.
100. We did it as much as seconds as we got till the end of the world. To check the news, and we found some perlers this week. I found some absolute legendary stories here.
Oh yeah, I found some good ones as well.
Go on then. I'll let you kick off the
all
news.
Right, then. Have you seen this about this guy on the internet who's been cleaning a wagon while it's going through on the motorway?
Oh, yeah, you were telling me about this, where he was clinging onto the front of the wagon.
Yeah, he's clinging onto the front.
Did the driver not see him?
Yeah, he was trying to shake the fucker off. But some passing car just took pictures, was like, what the fuck's this guy doing? And he must have just jumped on there and just started cleaning his fucking...
He's a critter on the fucking bonnet.
Yeah, he was like, what
fucking get the wind wipers on it.
Yeah, you know what? He should have.
Like he's got a koala stuck to his fucking... Yeah. Or he's at Chester Zoo.
Yeah,
he's like, he's driving down and all the animals are jumping on his car and he's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
His wagon's doing about what?
Got a windscreen
60 mile an hour. That guy went off, he fucked.
Fucking hell.
Oh, my days.
So did he survive? What happened? Did he get absolutely shook off the van? How fast were they going?
On the internet, apparently.
I've got so many questions.
I've only seen it today, but
so this was just a video that's gone viral. I will have to have a look at this.
4.7 million people have watched it already.
Oh my days! Yeah. And he was literally. So I wonder how. So basically, he stopped at the lights.
He's doing one. Yeah,
right. Okay, I'm trying to work this out. Right. Yeah. So this wagon stopped at the lights. Yeah. Right. Guys rushed in with his bucket and chamois.
Yeah. Do you want to clean, mate? Do you want me to do your windows?
And he's gone, fuck off. And the lights turn to red. The lights turn to green even. And he's gone, fuck, I'll show him. He'll dive out the way. Watch this.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
No, he just stayed on. He's gone, I'm cleaning your fucking windows.
But he carried on cleaning the windows.
Yeah, he was there with his chamois. He was like cleaning the fuck. He was like, what the fuck?
Well, he didn't get paid, did he? He got lobbed. Got lobbed off to the side of the road by the sounds of it.
It might have been pulled over and pulled off.
Well, I've got this fucking pulled off.
You mucky fucker.
I've got this story. Mate, you don't expect this off your Amazon delivery driver.
Oh, what?
So you've ordered something off Amazon. Yeah, you're waiting patiently for it to arrive.
Yeah.
And then you find out off your neighbour,
right,
that your delivery driver was pooing in your garden.
What?
Yeah. So an NHS counsellor has said that she was cooking in her kitchen when a van pulled up outside her home.
Oh, shit.
A man ran out from the vehicle toward the garden and then basically...
squatted.
Well, she suspected he was stealing because they've had, wood stolen from the back garden. So, the guy, she went out to check because he's just saw some guy dive out of a van come into the garden and disappear around the side. So she's gone round the side to confront whoever it is, but basically caught him in mid squat.
Oh no! Shame.
Amongst the trees and daffodils.
Shame. Oh my.
Well, she promptly called the police, and he was arrested.
Was he arrested for it?
Yeah, he's been sacked from Amazon.
See.
She basically.
Yeah, but where else can he go?
What do you mean?
Well, if you're needing a squat and you're a driver, where
get
else
in the back of your van, mate.
What
get a bucket.
No, you put it.
What are you going to do?
Plastic
Find
bag.
a toilet.
Plastic bag.
Even knock on the woman's house and say, I'm sorry, love.
Yeah, she ain't got to let him in.
Well, it depends. He's got deliveries to make. If he knocks on the house and he's got to get a signature or something...
She didn't expect an extra
all he
delivery.
has to say is, I'm really sorry, I wouldn't normally ask, but I'm a bit desperate. I've been caught short. Would there be any chance I could use your toilet?
Oh, fuck off.
No, sorry, love. I'll go to the petrol station.
Yeah, you go petrol station.
Well, there you go. There's options, but the fact is, the guy's ran in someone's garden.
Yeah.
Copped a squat mid poses and had a poo.
I think some of them drivers out there sometimes, when they're really desperate, they've had the curry night before and they're on the deliveries and they need to squat.
Well, she said, "What the heck are you doing?"
And he said, "What do you think I'm doing? Peeling potatoes?"
And he just remained pooing.
Did he? Good lad. I would have carried on as well. Right, I'm finishing
and he also asked what her problem was.
Oh, cheeky fucker.
What's your problem? I'm having a poo. Got any bog roll?
Folks, you know what she should have done? She should have gone in, got a bucket full of water and just threw it over him while he's doing
I would have got the hose out, I would have
squared the fuck. Yeah, right, I'm cleaning the fucker up right now. Right while you're doing it in between squat.
Well, I wouldn't be pooing in someone else's garden anyway, but, like, come on, Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that's the type of people...
Well, come on, it was the driver, but, I can see some of the circumstances. Well, to be fair,
actually, Amazon do hire outside contractors to deliver as well, I'm not going to put the blame solely on Amazon for this one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
they
were right. They did the right thing sacking him, I suppose.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, you couldn't exactly go back in work. You the shitting fella? Yeah, right. I want you delivering to her house again. She's got a parcel.
I mean, there's a difference between having a pee up a wall in a corner.
Well, yeah,
and having a poo.
Yeah,
full-blown poo.
Still on decent exposure.
Well, he could have been doing something. He could have been doing a hell of a lot worse. So
that is very true. That is very true. He could have been actually robbing.
Do you know what? I've got one.
He was delivering. What do you expect? He was a delivery driver.
He was delivering.
He was delivering an extra parcel. That's all. What's the problem? She should be thankful she gets 2 for 1.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
I'm glad she didn't ask her to sign for it.
Hey, that's true, yeah.
And it's like, you just give us your signature here.
Yeah, just drop you
a parcel in your back garden. Special instructions.
Special delivery.
I had special instructions to drop it in, be in with your hedgerows.
Oh, I'm thinking Googling.
I've got to tell you this story, right? So, because it's just a credit. Do you know what? I feel like it is a bonza. Yeah, right. It's a fucking bonza, right? So, do you remember Ross Kemp?
Yeah. Bald-headed fella.
Yeah, Grant Mitchell from
couple of
EastEnders.
Yeah.
Right.
Top end of a boob, yeah.
He's obviously made a name for himself going into dangerous situations.
Yeah, like a hospital.
Yeah, well, he was a big problem with him. Because he was he caused a bit of Twitter uproar.
Yeah.
Just after the lockdowns happened over here in the UK, because he wanted to make a documentary about the front line of the NHS. Using up medical resources and time. Yeah. And people didn't respond to it very well, right? On social media.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw the tweets and it was just fucking hell, mate.
We brought it up.
Yeah, we did, in fact, yeah. Well, he's at it again, right?
What?
This time...
What's he in the morgue now?
Ross Kemp's learned the hard way
not
to play with wasps.
Oh, they stung him like
Ross Kemp has basically posted multiple videos on Twitter detailing his recovery from being stung in the face by multiple wasps.
Oh, that wasn't got burnt.
He's quite swollen.
Is it?
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. He's got
Shouldn't be messing around with wasps then.
He's got a fully swollen face, swollen lips, swollen eyes.
Well,
and do you know what, Ross?
I had no pity.
I've got no sympathy for you.
I had no fucking pity, mate.
Do you know what?
Ask the NHS to fucking help you out.
Karma's a bitch.
Yeah,
that's all I'll say. And you know what? This guy survived prison, the most hellish prisons in the world.
He's been in some shitholes. But
Ross Kemp does bees
and gets stung. The only thing that he couldn't get out of. He's rolling around in the water.
Next week.
Ants. Fucking bullet ants. Go on, son.
I was like, he's taking on Richard Attenborough. Ross Kemp does pigs.
Yeah, Richard.
And we believe he's. Well, I don't want to disparage his character and say he does pigs, but.
You never know. There's a lot of weird things that go on these days.
Anything. So, I just thought that was hilarious. Moving on. Have you got another story you want to talk about?
Actually, back to Trump. I'm afraid. I know. I've talked about Trump quite a lot, but this is This is quite an important.
Yeah, come on,
Trump. Right. Well, from yesterday, Friday, the 7th of August, businesses in America have got 45 days, so 42 by the time this comes out, to get rid of all connections with TikTok.
TikTok goes the clock. It's the doomsday clock for TikTok.
It is. And there's been a short ban, a slim ban, on one called WeChat.
Oh yeah, WeChat. Yeah, that's it's kind of like a free messenger service, I think.
Yeah,
but
and TikTok are kicking off again. Basically, China are just going, right, we're seeing core. How can you do this? If you do this, we're going to do that.
Do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if in the next atomic summit, TikTok's used
soon as well.
TikTok will be used as a reason why it's being moved forward. They'll go because TikTok was.
Deemed to be intelligence gathering for the Chinese.
It caused problems with China, and now it's the looming war. 1 second to war.
Half a millisecond.
Because of a fucking TikTok app, which I never signed up for, which I'm very proud of myself for.
Yeah. Well, if you're in America, prepared to lose it.
Well, if they're going to ban it in America, I'm surely they've probably got plans to ban it here in the UK as well. Because to be fair, got Boris in my pocket.
Yeah. Well, love child, innit? Love child of...
He's got the same hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Yeah, it's definitely
so I can probably say TikTok's probably going to be going.
Yeah,
I mean, it'll just come out as a... I mean, I can just see...
I can see changing the name and
the thing is, because Microsoft were interested in buying it, right? What's to stop Microsoft now saying, well, we don't have to buy it because that platform doesn't exist in the United States anymore.
Well, so I could buy that in 15...
Well, no, I don't even have to buy that. I can just make the same thing and call it something else.
Well, yeah. But if
do you know
they
what I mean? And let the America go mad for TikTok US
if they wanted the hardware,
though,
in a couple of weeks, all they have to do is, let's say he's worth 15 million now. In a couple of weeks, you could go down to him and go half a million.
Give you a fiver.
Give you $500,000 for that, and they have to say basically. You know what I mean? Because they'll be running out of fucking money soon because countries have decided to not do business with them, basically.
Yeah,
and
true.
It's rightly so as well, to be honest, with all the shit that's happened over this.
Well.
Yeah. Oh, fucking hell, yeah.
Go on.
Oh, no, I'll let you do the next one, then I'll bring this one in.
Well, talking about cheeky bastards, we've got a really... This guy was... he's a lad, what can I say?
Yeah.
Florida man buys a brand new Porsche with a check he printed on his home computer.
Oh, shit.
So, 42-year-old Florida man managed to dupe a car dealership into letting him drive off in a car worth $140,000, the Porsche 911,
nice.
In an exchange for a fake check he printed on his home PC. So, he walked into the Porsche dealership, basically, on the 27th, and managed to drive off with a brand new Porsche 911 sports car. Really impressive thing is that he only basically
15.
It was a useless piece of paper. It was just literally weren't worth the paper it was printed on, basically.
So he had no funds.
They must have been absolutely fucking over the moon and just thrilled at the fact that they were selling such an expensive car.
And
desperate. This guy's just like, they've snapped it off him. Do you know what I mean? They looked before they leapt before they looked.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
And this guy, he's walked away with his car. But he's basically so proud of himself. He even asked the staff to take a picture of him with the car before they drove away. It's like,
that's
serious. Like, get a picture of me driving the car. I'll just get it.
I'm going to squat in the back seat and take a picture.
Well, it's what you do with your new car, isn't it? It's the pretense. It's like the guy was so bold that he went out and
so confident.
He did it in such a confident way that I don't give a shit if you've got my photo or not, mate. I've paid for the car. You
what's he doing? Is he doing time?
Well, wait a minute, right? Isn't all cash a promise of payment?
Yeah, it's a promise note, basically.
Right, it's a promise note, right?
Yeah, but I think they're doing because he won't have the funds to cover it.
Wait a minute, right?
Yeah.
Now, we all agree that a $10 note, £10 note is worth $10, right?
Yeah, but what's worth $10?
Well, nothing.
That's why it's written on.
But no, it doesn't matter. Yeah, well, exactly. He's handed him a check with a figure written on it.
Yeah.
Right? A promise to pay.
I promise you to pay this, and he has to put certain numbers in there. As long as he does that, then it's legal and binding.
But the fact is, they've accepted it. They accepted that piece of paper was worth $140,000, right? And gladly gave him the keys. Yeah. So any judge would turn around and say, well, it's kind of the dealership's fault for not checking.
No.
Yeah. Well, no, technically, because they've accepted this piece of paper as payment for this car.
Yeah, but the problem with that is, it's like if you and me go into a contract agreement, because it's a contract agreement, yeah? If you and me go into a contract agreement and it says...
I thought you could see a Conker tournament and a Conker match.
You have
which
90%,
we'll have in October.
You have 90% of what we own, and I only have 10%, and we took that to court, it would be counted as unfair, so it would be ripped up. So what's happened is
I'm just wondering,
I've got 125 grand, but he hasn't got 120.
Well, no, he's saying he's got the money in the bank, and that check should cover it.
Yeah.
So by going in there, but really, it's like, why don't you just pay with your card?
He's falsifying documents.
Anyway, I don't know if he's got away with it. I mean, let's say...
No, I can't see he's going to get away with it. It'd be he's white collar fraud. So
I'd say that's fraud. Yeah, I mean, the fact is, it's the cheek of the guy, and he got to drive a 911 for a bit.
Hey, smart kid.
Smart guy.
Yeah, man.
might go in there and say, I've got this piece of paper.
Let's see what he gets, because if he gets, let's say, a couple of months for it, smart fella, if he gets, 15 years, it's like, fucking hell, mate, was it really worth it?
Yeah, true.
Just to drive for a couple of hours, fuck that. You'd even get shag out of it. You only got the car.
How do you know?
Well, that is true, yeah.
He could have been cruising round. Do you know what? He could have cruised round to one of his ladies and gone, see, it's like that in what's it? Do you know Trading Places?
Yeah.
When he's in prison and he's like, you were in the tank last night bragging on your limousine. And he goes, well, my limousine's outside. Why don't you go and take a look at it? And he goes, what, right outside? He's like, yeah.
He could have had a bet. Yeah, I bet I could come round here with a Porsche, he says to his mate. I bet I can come round here in the Porsche in the morning and go, fuck off. Yeah. You can shag me sister. You can shag me sister.
You always have to take it to that next level, don't you? It's like, get stains on the back seat, shagging your sister.
Yeah,
If not, if you've got a sister that you'd like to introduce to Taylor, then his number is... There you go. We got them coming in already. Ding dong. Well...
Get me.
I've got this story about a man trying to better himself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a woman, his wife even, or girlfriend, said that he needed to work on his spelling, right?
Okay.
So, what do you do when you need to work on your spelling?
Work on your spelling?
You do stuff like read the dictionary, play Scrabble, maybe.
Okay,
do a word search.
Yeah.
Well, this guy didn't just do that, but he was a fan of scratch-off lottery tickets, yeah.
Oh, is it what I think it is?
Yeah, he may be.
Might have the same story, yeah?
He basically bought a crossword ticket.
Right.
Because his girlfriend said that he needed to work on his spelling. That's a likely story, if anyone has seen. And he says he won almost $75,000.
Oh, you're joking.
Yeah. I mean...
It's not the same story, but I bet mine beats yours by a little bit.
Go on, then.
Right. Well, a guy in Virginia... went into a lottery ticket office and bought one ticket, and then decided he said he didn't know why, but he decided to buy 24 more. So he bought 5 lottery tickets, and they all fucking won.
All of them?
All of them were worth $5,000 a piece. And he got 125 grand for
it.
Yeah, that was lucky.
No,
on the ultimate.
That sounds dodgy as fuck, right? I'm not being funny.
Yeah, mafia involvement.
No. Think about it this way, right? Now, when have you ever seen that? Right, the odds on the back of a lottery ticket are 1 in 3.5, right? At least, right? So that's to say that 1 in 4 cards will be a winner.
Yeah.
Not saying that it'd be a big winner. You might win £1 or $1, or your ticket or a free ticket. Yeah. So
this weren't large, mate. It was $5,000.
$5,000. for 25 consecutive tickets is unheard of.
Yeah.
Right?
That's why he's in the paper.
Well, yeah, but no, but that must have been a glitch in the machine or something to print 25 in a row.
No, he asked for 25 of the same ticket
Of the same ticket, but they're on a roll.
Yeah, but so I could turn around and go,
that means the odds there have super
25 doubled
because
over.
There's no way that you get 25 $5,000 in a row.
Well, no, actually, no, it's
so
the same
somebody must have told him that those were there.
No.
He went in and bought one,
scratched
it is a bit funny.
Won
the $5,000 and went, this is the roll. Bought the extra 24.
But he went with his gut. He says he went with his gut, and you should always go with your gut.
Yeah, he also went with a bit of a tip-off, I reckon, as well.
That
sounds a bit strange to me. I've never heard of that in my life.
Well, if that's a little strange, in a couple of weeks, he won't have all that fucking left after that it's paid off.
Right, you can watch them on YouTube then. These people do the $100 scratch card challenge, right?
Right.
They go out, they buy $100 worth of scratch cards, and the aim of the game is to recoup your money.
Right, okay, yeah.
Majority of the time, you lose a third.
Yeah.
Right? Because the house always wins.
Yeah.
Right? So you'll get $75 back.
Yeah.
A roundabout. It's not even guaranteed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
You
true.
might not get $30 back.
Hey, and you might have a good luck and you might get nearer.
You could get 110, you could get 120, but you're not going to
get it all the fucking time.
You're not going to get like a double payout. No. Potentially not. You'd
be lucky.
And that's $100 worth. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, a pound or $1 a piece or $2 a piece, that's a lot of cards. Now imagine you spend $100 and you get 25 of those are $5,000 winners.
Yeah, but I've seen people walk in. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not the same fucking number, but I've seen people walk in and go, bang, right, I want 8. I want 8 lottery tickets.
Whenever I buy a lottery scratcher, I never 15. Do that. I'll only ever buy one.
Yeah,
it's because I feel a bit lucky. And
I don't even buy them all the time. I buy them every now and again.
I usually find it's a waste of time because I just win my pound back.
Yeah.
And then I end up going, can I have another one of them and swap it? Yeah. And then I'll probably... And occasionally I get lucky with a small amount, but...
Yeah,
it's not really like life-changing tackle, is it? So I mean, luck if you've got it. This man was lucky. Like I say,
fucking well lucky. God was looking at him that day.
Well, good luck to those guys, those lottery winners. For whatever reason, whether you want to work on your spelling or you're just fucking lucky as sin, by the sounds of it. Or mafioso connections.
Yeah, what's going on there? Is he a boss man?
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Have you got any more stories you want to talk about? I've got one more in terms of like stories, and then I've got a lot of NASA news as well.
I've got 2, and then I've got 2 NASA stories.
All right, we'll crack on, son.
Well, I'll go with the softer thing first. Apparently, you know that blast that happened in Libya.
Yeah.
Right.
Which obviously are,
fucking... go out to
it was such an amazing thing to see on the news as well. I mean, it was kind of like, what, this is happening now?
Yeah, it was a bit 9/11-ish.
It was
not a bit. Quite, I thought, to me, personally, it wasn't quite as...
I was kind of like, what's 2020 dealing us this month? And it was like, but, Trump again, man. It's like, what was he talking about? He painted it as an attack. Right, he basically came out...
I can't blame him, though, because there is...
Well, no, he's saying, based off what my generals have said, nothing explodes like that apart from a bomb. And it was like, wait a minute, it was made... It was a fire consisting of materials that would go into a bomb. So it's probably
right next to a fucking massive bomb.
Now, the fucking people there are absolutely fucking angry that this has been left and it's got to the point where this has happened. The actual fucking government over there in Lebanon, nowhere to be seen. In fact, because I think they were a French colony, the French prime minister or president has been over, and he's the only one who's shown his face. Do you know what I mean? And they were all hurling abuse at him, and he's basically trying to help. He's the only one who's turned up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, this is when you need friends from different countries. But then this is where the Western countries will come in and go, right, we do this for you if you give us half your fucking country.
Oh yeah, well this is it.
This is where they're going to.
Well, this is it. Well, I think America and the UK have definitely said that they're on standby to step in and help. Wherever. But the thing is with these types of events, it's it displaces people from the homes.
Oh keep that in mind.
There's a lot of people who have got nowhere to live temporarily. These people who. Have lost their lives. I mean, they're still kind of looking through the wreckage at the moment.
People lost their lives.
But there was a bit of a good story I saw this morning where there was a survivor who was pulled out of the wreckage and survived. So hopefully they'll find some more. And it is sad. I think with everything that's going on in the world, it's just something that we just didn't need, really. And especially the people who were local to it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, according to UNICEF, which is the organisation from the UN that, looks after children around the world and stuff, according to them, 80,000 children have been displaced from this.
I can believe
and it's
it.
Like, how many? But work this out. 80,000 children... But there was only 135 people who died.
Yeah, because it was an industrial estate. It was a docklands.
Yeah, what was it? A children's home?
Well, no, because it was blast radiuses, isn't it? It's like think about tower blocks.
The M25, the size of the M25, they reckon it was.
Right, so that's like
that's massive.
That's massive. But you think about all the people who live. So fair enough, there was the ground zero area where the bomb. Or the fire explosion was.
Yeah.
But
then again, they didn't mention about the parents and that, so
it's all the UNICEF are just talking about the kids, which is fair, but But
that's a lot.
It's a lot of kids. I mean, there's a lot of people who've been displaced by it, and whole families, and especially when you've got stuff like a pandemic, which is rampant as well. It's like, how do you expect these people to social distance when you've got... you've got to basically set up camps for them, social distance style, and it's going to be very difficult to be able to
sanitizing areas.
Exactly, sanitary. It's going to be obviously they're going to need the rest of the world to step in and try and fucking do the best for them.
And hopefully they don't get fucked over.
And I think this should be the same for every country in any sort of crisis.
Yeah, but there's always a dodgy one who walks in, don't they, and just goes like, "Well, I want that little bit piece of that fucking cake." So, and does
can I have your crust?
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's like it's wrong. You should be helping and not actually making money out of them through this situation.
Yeah. So
you got another one?
I mean, have you got anything more to say about the explosion? I mean, it was quite a shocking thing. I mean, it was getting quite a lot of angles over the media. There was so many people. I think one of them, there was a couple of really shocking ones for me, just quickly.
Yeah.
Where, people were driving down the motorway.
Yeah, I was going to say the one that heading towards it.
No, they were trying to get. I think they were heading away from it, but it was like across the water.
Yeah,
and literally, you see the explosion, and the car just gets toppled over like it was nothing.
Yeah, like a rag doll.
I mean, even there was news reports where people were in Skype calls, and all of a sudden, one of the, all of a sudden it's chaos. Happening on one of on the Zoom.
Fuck.
Yeah, and the other people are like, what the fuck's going on? Because they're seeing it happen live while they're talking to a loved one or a friend or, a work colleague or whatever.
I seen one about 2 miles away. There was a woman in a wedding dress getting photographed, pretty area behind buildings.
Yeah. So it's probably a wedding day then, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, whoosh, what the... fucking knocking everything over.
Yeah.
It was that powerful of a blast.
I did see one
on the radius.
Where a video that was going around. It was a priest giving a sermon, and literally the whole church roof collapses on top of him.
Oh shit!
It's like wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
a lot of damage. It's going to be a number of years and a lot of money to fix all that up.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just one of those where we think everyone's thinking about you guys, and we hope that you can kind of recover as fast as you can, and obviously, I mean, personally, if I was running this shithole, we'd be there now helping you out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I'm not. So.
No, we've got other people to deal with that. Not necessarily the right people.
Well. Moving on, archaeologists in Turkey
Oh.
have uncovered a mystery ancient kingdom.
Right, okay.
They reckon it's been lost in history, yeah?
Is this the 12,000-year-old monument that they've been digging for the last couple of years?
Well, since last year, I think. So last year, archaeologists were investigating an ancient mound in central Turkey called Turkmen Kalakuyuk, I think. The Greater Region.
Yeah.
The Konya Plains.
Yeah.
About basically a lost metropolis.
Right.
It's said to have been all touched and turned to gold.
Turned to gold?
Yeah. So basically it said it touched and turned to gold, but destiny eventually caught up with it, and the legendary King Midas. So it's basically his sitter, as basically went down and got covered up. But they reckon they found it. So a local farmer told the group that a nearby canal recently dredged revealed some large stones marked with some kind of unknown inscriptions.
Yeah.
So they checked it all out and jumped right down into the canal. So you got waist deep in it.
Oh, right.
And archaeologist James Osborne said to the University of Chicago,
I see a fish,
earlier this year that he's been investigating it. Right away, it was clear that it was ancient.
Yeah.
He recognised the scripture, the script. It was written in Luwian, Luwian, a language used by the Bronze and Iron Age.
Right, okay, right.
So with the aid of a translator, the researchers found that it was an ancient stone block called a stele, and they basically it boasted of a military victory, and not just any military victory, but the defeat of Pythagoras.
I was Pythagoras.
No, it's not Pythagoras. Pyrgygia. Yeah. It was a kingdom, and it was roughly about 3,000 years ago.
Right.
So they're going to just kind of excavate it, I think, but they reckon that it was inhabited by King Midas.
See, there's a lot of history, especially over the last, I'd say last 5 years over Turkey, that they're finding some really, really good finds and really,
Do you
really
think,
old
though,
finds.
that could be? I mean, obviously, there's a legend of King Midas and his Midas touch and turning everything to gold.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's these tales of a lost city of gold.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They turn up and find this mound in Turkey.
Yeah.
And, they've made this connection that they found this stone and it relates to a battle about and relating to King Midas.
Yeah.
So then they put two and two together and decide that this must be
King Midas's place.
Yeah, exactly. So would the idea be that this could be based on the legends of his gold touch, that this place could be the lost city of gold and be
every possibility
awash with gold and fancy stuff?
I'll tell you what, though, we will be the last ones to know about it, because soon they'll be straight in there going, right, we're taking all that gold, especially at the minute. They'll be taking all of it. Yeah, and they'd be like, right, we found 2 blocks of gold. Yeah,
I'm sure there's more to that story.
Yeah, I think there'd be a lot more to that story.
Yeah, we'll come back to that at some point.
We'll find more.
But yeah, I'm a bit tired to be doing translations and reading Turkish tonight.
Yeah.
Moving on to NASA news.
Oh no, I've got one more.
Have you got one
story.
more? You crack on then. You go for it.
It's a pretty awful story, to be honest.
Oh, was it have to be?
Right. Well, do you know these little dolls, trolls?
Trolls,
yeah.
From the 80s.
World tours, yeah.
Well, there's a new movie, isn't there? I mean, there's a new. I think they brought Trolls back out for the kids, haven't they now?
Oh yes, I have.
So go on, what's this world tour? What have you got a problem with the world tour? Because I've heard it's quite a good movie for the kids. This
it's not about the movie; it's about the toy.
Right. Okay.
The Trolls World Tour, it's called. Now, some parent went out and bought one. Okay, opened it up, had a look at it, and then found a little button in the naughty place.
Yeah, like trolls have always had.
They've never had one.
Yeah, they have.
Uh-huh. Apparently they haven't.
I
haven't had a troll doll, so I
remember back in the 80s. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
Yeah, but it's different in the 80s to now.
It doesn't matter because it's what? So they're supposed to, but they're supposed to be anatomically correct. What?
No. There's just a button you press in, and when you press in that button, you hear noises.
Giggles and stuff. I'm not sure about that.
Only that.
Because I remember him having like a little kind of nobble or something, where or nothing.
Right down
there. What I mean?
Yeah, but this is like a.
Oh, was that the nose?
I don't know.
I've no idea. It's been a while since I've seen a troll doll.
But not only that, it also breaks laws on advertising because it wasn't even advertised on the box about that being on there.
What they doing? Putting a knob button?
Exactly. Well, it's not. It wasn't like a knob. It was like a pressing button.
Yeah, but where was it?
It was in
a sensitive area. Wait a minute. Yeah. So you're pressing the button.
You press this button.
Pushing the daddy button.
Yeah.
Right. And then you giggle.
And then you hear.
So what's she doing about it? Is she got it pulled off the shelves?
She sent it back to him. She filmed it and all that. Sent it back to him.
Saying this is highly inappropriate.
I only know in America they've taken them off the shelves, but it doesn't mean they haven't taken it off the shelves worldwide.
It's like tickle me
It's one of them. Why have you got
all over again?
For a little button to be pressed and then noises to be coming out and not even advertising to the parents who will be buying this toy
that it's there.
For the kid that it's there. Yeah.
Well, normally they have like a little thing where you can put your finger through the packet and press the buttons. Like,
yeah, but not in your ball bag area.
Press my button, see what I do before you pay for it.
What's the use of what's the reason for having a button there when it can be put on the back and for the words that we were saying out of it?
Trolls don't have buttons. Trolls don't have electronics.
They do now.
Troll dolls are fucking plastic pieces of shit. The beauty of a troll doll was the fact that it had big hair. You could twist up in shit and
you could do that with Cabbage Patch.
Put it in a ponytail or whatever. But that's what people liked about the what are they called now? The ponies. Yeah.
Oh, My Little Pony.
Yeah, you brush its
Bony
hair
and scrawny.
do stuff. That was the selling point of a troll. The fact that it had cool, funky, big hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
The rest of it was ugly little piece of plastic
exactly.
shit.
So
Rip
what's
the hair
point?
off it. It was a useless piece of shit.
Yeah,
it wasn't a troll anymore.
Why has that been put there then?
So
that is a massive question, and I don't think they've even answered the question. All they've done is gone into America and gone, right, let's take it off the shelf.
Well, I don't think personally, troll people, whoever makes the troll dolls, I think that you've taken it too far by putting any sort of electronics or animatronics in a troll doll for a start.
It's not only that, it's the process. Who thought up the idea? Who agreed to pay that money and go, yeah, you can have that and sell that out?
Do you know why? Do you know why I think they were so popular? Right.
Why?
Because they were quite thingy, weren't they? Aesthetical, but like you've got the appeal to kids with like disabilities as well, because you've got like the fact that you've got so many textures and the hair and all the rest of it.
Different senses.
Stimulating different senses.
Yeah.
The fact that it says something or it has an electronic element doesn't add value in my book. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
It can be perfectly kind of, good without having all that extra bells and whistles. It's like the reason why trolls and all those sorts of things were so popular in the first place.
It's easy, simple,
because it was simple and done. Yeah, exactly. And like I say, I saw so many kids, young girls and stuff, pull the hair or cut the hair on the troll doll, and it's discarded because the element that it was fun about it
was the cutting of the hair,
there was the playing with the hair.
With
exactly. Yeah. It was the stroking the hair was kind of like a
strokes short hair as well as long hair.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Talking about my strokey hair fetishes.
Oh,
never mind.
But I thought that was worthy to. Tell people about and
so
keep your eye out
if you
for,
see random dodgy
toy.
buttons on your kids' toys, obviously,
especially in them areas,
that's a bit dodgy. That
Yeah, this is the thing. It's like that must have been at least a 4 to 6 months process just to get it to manufacturing.
Of course, and somebody must have. I mean, well, this is the thing, isn't it? If it's all about money, it's like you say. If you come to my boardroom and say, "Oh, I've got a range of troll dolls coming out,"
adding a new content to it.
Well, yeah, exactly. You'd think, "Oh, you're adding a new element to it." All right. Well, I'll be looking forward to see what you do.
Yeah.
Am I really that interested? Do you know what I mean? Is it selling? Yeah. Right, sweet. Well, I'm happy then.
Well, trolls will sell, but
of course, because they've just put a movie out as well, so it's going to be merchandise for the film. Plus, it's already nostalgic, sort of appeal. As well as.
As the parents as well as the kids, because they used to have it, so you're going to have maybe double, or they're willing to go out and spend that extra.
It's funny, isn't it? I mean, imagine like when you were a kid, the stuff that your parents were trying to push on you, like from their childhood and youth. And now all of a sudden you're trying to push your shit. Yeah. And it's like, look at this, it's amazing. And they're like,
it's wicked, man. He-Man.
Yeah. We're like, check He-Man out, it's amazing.
Gruber
like,
going off his shit about now.
I don't give a fuck about He-Man, I want to play Roblox.
Yeah, man, yeah.
Talking of which, I actually built a theme park on Roblox.
Yeah. You were a bit pissed off a few times over, especially when you deleted it first time.
No, I didn't delete the whole theme park. I worked really hard on a roller coaster.
Yeah, you couldn't get the placement, and then you finally did.
It took me ages, and then all of a sudden I did it, right? And then I needed to delete a piece of track to put in a chain link.
Yeah.
And I deleted the whole roller coaster by accident. And I was like, fuck this game.
Shit. Yeah. I'm playing this again.
I've not played
after I finished fucking doing
this. To be honest,
I
only went on it because I was like so lockdown bored. Yeah. And I was like, what? Theme Park Tycoon? Yeah. All right. I'll have
you tried the zoo one? I think
I draw the line.
I don't think that's
I draw the line at making a zoo.
Why?
Because I can't make. I built the Oblivion on this.
Oh, right. Okay.
I'm trying to recreate theme rides from rides
Past
that I know.
Yeah, okay.
So I've recreated the Oblivion. I've done a few other things anyway, but that's enough.
Yeah, that's enough.
I don't want a multiplayer with anyone, so don't bother asking.
Yeah, just if you see him, just pop in there and play on his rides.
Yeah, you can pop him a theme park anytime if you can find it. It's called the NASA Pod Theme Park.
Is it?
Yeah,
of course it is. Called it?
Yeah, of course it is. The Neverstraightanswer Theme Park. If you want to go and look for it.
Yeah, I might have to look in there.
It's called NASA Pod Theme Park.
Yeah. Did you sort out that lost place?
What?
That lost place.
Oh yeah, I rebuilt it.
Yeah, you rebuilt the lost place.
Rebuilt it. Yeah, it's all good.
Go in there and get lost.
Anyway, fix that. Yeah, that's a dark ride now.
Is that the dark ride?
Yeah, that's the one that I deleted.
Anyway,
Google Earth found something a bit cool this week.
Oh, right, sweet.
I mean, there's a lot of... this is the second thing I've heard about around Antarctica and Greenland, to be fair.
Okay.
About... obviously climate change is a big deal.
Yeah.
But in terms of research possibilities and exploration, it's offering up a glimpse of things that we've never seen before on Earth. And one of which was a meteorite crater that they found just off the coast of Greenland. And they reckon it's the youngest, or not the youngest, or it's the most recent meteor impact crater on the planet. They've a team of researchers have gone out up to now, but I mean, it's the fact that it's been obscured from view for so long because it's been covered in ice and snow. Yeah. It's off the coast of Greenland. It's starting to thaw a little bit, and they've gone out there, discovered that there basically is a big impact crater there, and this week, they thought it was an iceberg, but it bore an unexpected resemblance to something else.
Oh, what?
A huge ship.
Oh, right.
So,
lost ship.
Google Earth users have spotted, oh, God.
Hey, up, frog in your throat.
A 400-foot ice ship sitting off the coast of Antarctica.
Sweet.
Now, still,
there's any gold in there.
They don't know if it is actually an iceberg or not, but it's definitely a ship. I think it's definitely a ship. Do you want to have a look?
Can't you see a name or something? Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, but that looks like a ship on its side.
Yeah,
that looks like one of them little ones for your kids.
Well, think about it like this way, mate. If it's been frozen, it could have tipped over if it was...
On its sides, yeah.
We
don't know if there's been anything damaged on the side.
Well, it's too it looks like it's got satellite arrays and shit like that, radar. It looks too much like a boat. I mean, conspiracy theorists are saying that it's a...
you know what, I'm going to go out the ballpark and go, it's not, to be honest.
What? It's not a ship?
It's not a ship. I've just got a funny feeling.
Well, this huge structure... Sorry. Oh, God, I'm losing my voice again today. So this huge structure looks like it could be a ship.
Yeah, could be.
It's been... oh, my God.
It's been in my... Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
It's been uncovered by Google Earth off the coast of Antarctica. The icy continent has often attracted wild conspiracy theories and believers claiming that everything from secret Nazi bases to ancient civilizations are hidden beneath the snowy landscape.
Well, it's possible it could be one of Hitler's boats.
Well, no, I think Admiral Byrd went out there with a whole fleet,
lost a couple.
Fleet of how many soldiers, right?
4,500 soldiers.
So who knows that one of his boats never made it back? Who knows, right?
Well,
could have got run aground. Could have got run aground. Yeah. There you go. A YouTuber user, Mr. MBB333, has joined the theories by sharing a video on the iceberg that looks identical to a ship. The video was taken roughly 100 miles off the coast of Antarctica, showing a large chunk of ice rising above the white landscape. When the Google Earth cameras switched to 3D view, it's on a canny resemblance to chimneys and windows.
I do see that.
It seems to have too many details of a ship. It's in the perfect shape of a ship. It's got... looks like it's got...
because it's on its side, it looks like a toy ship, you know. And
yeah, of course, because it looks like a toy ship because you were just looking at it like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's because I just...
Because you're seeing it from an aerial view.
Yeah, exactly, and the way it's
now
laid.
Think of it if it kind of got run aground, right, and then the surrounding area froze up. It could capsize, or maybe it capsized and then kind of froze whilst
on top.
Yeah, and froze on top.
Oh,
who knows?
Yeah,
it looks too much uncannily like a ship for my liking. I mean, I'm down with pareidolia and all the rest of it, where you can see things.
It's got a little of that, to be honest. I mean, you could probably see Santa in the snow if you really looked hard enough. You know what I mean?
Most likely to see faces, not warships.
Well, but when you look in the clouds in the pattern,
when am I gonna see the sailboat?
Seeing a fucking goat or like fucking car or aeroplane or some subject like that.
Yeah, true.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily always have to be faces.
Well, I think it looks pretty cool.
I think you're right.
And if it's been out there to check it out,
have they? So then they must know if it is or not. Then
I don't know.
It must be a name.
Oh, I'm not sure. He said he just got video footage from about 100 metres away.
Was that it? What the fuck did they? They might as well go over and go, right, let's fucking get the name of it. Then we know which ship it is. You know what I mean? And is there any tracking?
Moving on. Because we're running out of fucking hell.
Jesus.
This week, SpaceX Crew Dragon returned home. Or was it? Yeah?
Yeah,
after historic astronaut splashdown.
Yeah, nice and safe.
Yeah, Cape Canaveral, Florida, SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule cruised into the home port on Friday, on the 7th of August. Scheduled to one of the company's recovery vehicles have been out to collect it. Secured to one of them, sorry. Onlookers gathered at Jetty Park while social distancing. And checked out the Crew Dragon. NASA astronauts Bob Behnken, Doug Hurley returned to Earth. The mission to SpaceX's first crewed flight was NASA's first orbital crewed flight since 2011.
Yeah.
So, pretty cool. Making history, guys. I think, do you know what? There was some flat earther guy on YouTube, though, basically saying how bollocks it all was. And he was like, this is full of shit, man. I've seen some bullshit in my time, but this takes the cake. And he's like that going, I saw a rat.
That's what fucking got me on that.
He saw a rat running over the engine. He said that there was, like I said this to you, dinner, about how, they've been trying to land that rocket booster back on that pad for like 5 years, right? If not longer.
Put effort into it.
And there's so many fail videos of it. If you want to go and check them out, there's so many, right? Where you just see crash, burn,
Yeah.
time and time again.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that it is amazing, it is a bit kind of, wow, that doesn't look real. Yeah. But they've done it so many times and they've perfected it.
Even I remember,
and even now it still could go wrong.
Official liftoffs, and they were ready, and they were like, "This is it," and it actually failed. Actually, come down and he just dropped to the side. He was like, "Oh bollocks!" Yeah. Only one of them, but the other one was all right, and he was like, "Oh, so we're nearly there."
You don't get it right every time, first time. I mean, the fact is, but I mean, like obviously, it's one of those where you can't. It's straight away to poo-poo it. Yeah. Well, anyway, the SpaceX recovery ship carrying the Crew Dragon named Go Navigator pulled into port. I
thought you were going to say Go Nav then.
Go Nav. Just after 5:30 p.m. Eastern Pacific time.
Yeah.
Pacific Eastern Standard Time, sorry. And that was 9:30 GMT, or Greenwich Mean Time.
Yeah.
And the ship was waved at by onlookers as the vessel made its short trek through the channel. So, yeah, I think they came back like big heroes, to be honest.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was another thing about this flat earther guy. He said when they got onto the ISS, one of the guys moved his arm weird, and he said that he was unhooking his harness.
Well, you would, wouldn't you, if you're going to go into the next room?
Well, no, he was unhooking his harness so he didn't move weird, like, because he had to be look like he was weightless. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah,
I think some people need to do something.
They need to sort their heads out, don't they?
Yeah.
And my last... Have you got any NASA news, by the way?
I have.
Right, because I've got one last story.
I've got two. This one, NASA reveals the strange shape from our solar system. There's a strange shape like an ear. And it's like a force.
Like an ear?
All the planets within our solar system. They've only just recognised it through because of
something strange going on.
Voyager 1 and 2.
So what?
They're the only ones that have ever gone into interstellar
space.
And they've found that there's something surrounding our solar system, but it also is like pushing. It's like pushing us. Sort of like hinting, pushing it. We like float into it and then float out.
So basically, what you're saying is we're the shit inside someone's ear.
We're in a teardrop or some shit.
We're in an ear.
Ear shape. It looks kind of ear, kind of fetus.
Ear like we got to the lobe. We're going down the chin.
Well, it could be the fetus thing, because it says it looks like the back of a fetus as well.
What?
Yeah, it looks like weird kind of fucking thing.
Oh, man, but, space, the final frontier until you find out
there's something else weird, and we've got to look more into it,
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, talking about crazy things in space.
Yeah.
Space, basically, NASA's, is it OSIRIS-REx spacecraft prepares for its final asteroid stamping rehearsal.
Oh, right. Sweet.
So it's called OSIRIS-REx, the spacecraft. It's preparing for a final rehearsal before touching down on an asteroid. Is it Bennu?
Bennu, yeah.
It's going to be touching down around about autumn, fall, to snag a piece of the rock.
Yeah.
The OSIRIS-REx, which has been orbiting the asteroid since 2018, is NASA's first asteroid stamping spacecraft. The probe is scheduled to participate in a touchdown sequence for the second time on August the 11th, which is in a couple of days' time, Monday, if I believe. So just as this is coming out.
Yeah.
During this session, the spacecraft will be run through a rehearsal, which will be a touch and go sample of collecting a touch and go sample collecting event.
Right. See.
Yeah. So this is just a rehearsal, though, and obviously the next time when they do it, so but this time the spacecraft will add a third maneuver. They've tried it twice, but they're trying to add a maneuver every time, I think.
So they can get a better sample.
Yeah, well, to just try and, we'll try this. If that works, right, we'll try this, then this. And then it's like, each step's a little bit closer to
softly, not like
exactly.
And see what happens.
So now I think what they'll be doing is they'll be like, you know, they've done the 3-step rehearsal and they'll go in for a full test. Yeah, do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's something to look forward to. That's happening on Monday. We'll give you a bit of an update on that and see how it goes. Collecting those.
Yeah, good luck.
Meaty rocks. Do you know what I mean?
Let's hope we get some good samples.
Well, the rehearsal itself cost 80 million.
Fucking hell.
So, you know, obviously can't go wrong there. You need to, you know, wasting taxpayers' money.
Well, yeah, imagine how many kids you could feed with that. You could feed
hell.
The hell for the world.
Feed the world.
Yeah, at least
make it a better place for me, you, and for me.
Yeah, there you go.
The entire human race.
Well, I've got one for Elon Musk's trouble again.
Elon Musk smoking a bong. Go on, what?
Egypt ain't happy with Elon Musk.
Why? What's he said?
He's turned around and said,
nuke Mars, nuke Egypt.
Well, no, he believes that the pyramids and were actually made by aliens.
Yeah, I've seen this.
Egyptians ain't having it. It's like, oi, what do you think we've been doing? Just sitting on our asses, fucking, you know, plonking around going, alien, yeah, can you do that for us? You know what I mean? Yeah, can you put that rock on there?
I love the Yiddish just come out of you then. It's, oi, oi, oi.
Yeah, can't son, get it sorted.
Hey.
Yeah.
So
basically he's had a backlash from
Elon Musk. Elon Musk just doesn't, he's like putting it out there.
He doesn't need to. He's got fucking money.
Hey, fuck you, I'm rich.
Yeah, exactly. He could probably fucking buy it off him.
So what? How much do you want for it?
Yeah.
Egypt.
Quid. It hasn't been used in a number of years.
It's only a bit of sand and that.
Yeah,
a couple of camels.
Yeah.
You got Mackie D's.
Yeah, I don't like the view from the top. You know what I mean? It's like a bit windy.
Oh, well, you're not allowed to climb the pyramids anymore because people used to climb it, damage it and steal it.
Yeah.
And they obviously said that you're not allowed. But there's been a few YouTubers who've climbed them and, you know, don't do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They were fucking...
Especially if you get caught. You don't know what the fucking punishment's going to be.
Of course, foreign country and stuff.
But
what I'd say is, don't you want these wonders of the world to last for future generations? And, you know, climbing it.
Oh, they don't care, don't they?
There was a story talking about damaging artifacts.
Yeah.
There was a story in the paper the other day that I read about a guy who was posing for a photo in Rome, I think it was, in, you know, where all these marble statues and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And he's leaning on this statue and he's getting his photo taken and he breaks the toe off one of them. But you said that, did he just kind of kick it to the side? I said he did, actually. Yeah, he did.
That kid over there did it. Yeah.
It's like, what, 200 years old?
Fucking hell. Well, it's lasted long, though. It's not. It's had a good innings, 200 years.
Not until this fucking numpty of a tourist turned up.
Yeah, he might have had a fat ass. That's what's happened.
He did, actually, yeah.
That's it.
Well, there you go. Well, no, I'm not saying that his fat ass broke it off. I think he broke it off with his hand.
I think a bit of it
was vandalism. Vandalism of the highest order. He did it deliberately.
He was a vandal, right?
Vandal. You know what?
Did he get caught on video then?
Yeah, he was caught on video. I think he did break it with his hand. If it didn't just break off because he was leaning on it, I don't think he kind of deliberately snapped it off. But I think he was leaning back with his hand, like, you know, on the statue.
Like you expect rock to stay there when you press against it.
It's rock, innit? It's marble. But I think he underestimated the strength of the big toe. There you go.
Fucking hell, man.
Bloody hell.
I bet that's going to be expensive for him.
Oh, we got some questions as well.
Woo-hoo,
actually, firstly, we've got our featured podcast this month. All this month is Lady Justice. Get over to where you get your podcast from for her weekly true crime podcast that takes a look at the fascinating cases, both past and present. And we have a promo.
Yeah.
Hello, my lovelies. My name is Chantel, and I'm the host over at Lady Justice True Crime. Lady Justice is a weekly podcast that covers fascinating cases, both past and present, from around the UK and Ireland. Some of them are strange, many are unbelievable, all of them are completely unique and are someone's story. So please come join me on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Thank you very much, Lady Justice. Cheers for the promo. And I hope you take a moment to subscribe and check it out.
Give it a listen, man.
Now we've got some listener questions this week.
Sweet.
So without further ado, we've got quite a few as well, and obviously, God, it's been a long show.
Yeah.
But we've got a question here from JVD, who asks, bear with me.
Is that what he asked? Bear with me. Yeah, all right.
No, he doesn't ask that.
All right.
I was just trying to get some...
Yeah, I was being a sarky twat.
some ambient music going on in the background. So he asks. So this is JVD of the Villain Demon asks, what conspiracy theory do you wish was true?
Right. Well, I would. Well.
Or would you hope that would turn out to be true? I reckon.
It's the
aliens
like thing, isn't it? Basically.
What, like Roswell?
Yeah.
Like the existence of aliens.
Yeah, but with that package comes a lot of.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
It, like,
in fact,
the government
just that answering that one
like
question does kind of unpack a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd probably go with that as well.
Yeah, it's the ultimate question, I think, for me.
Next, we've got a question from, with my next pick, podcast. Ask us.
Next pick.
Why did we get into podcasting?
You got me into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We sat down. We've been chatting for a good time about these kind of stuff and
random shit.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, well, we got some here. I've been looking into like UFOs and that for like.
Yeah, I think we recorded the first couple of episodes and I was hooked. I was just like, and I mean, plus I did hospital radio for a bit, but it wasn't like podcasting. You couldn't really say what you wanted.
Yeah, because we started talking about doing this, and then there was about 6 months in between or something. And it was like, right, and then it was like, shall we do it? And he's like, yeah, why not? Well, let's just see.
After a couple of episodes, somebody turned around and went, "This has got legs, you know."
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Really?" And he was like, "Yeah, you've got something here." So I was like, "All right, fair enough."
Yeah, we got a good start. I think we were above average when we first started, and I think we stayed there.
Next question on Second Watch podcast asked, "What's your favourite movie ever?"
Oh, no, you can't say that. You can't say that.
I said this the other day to somebody because it's because certain books and movies and stuff like that, they teach you different things, they change your life in different ways.
Action, sci-fi, romance.
Yeah, but if you had to pick one, if you were on a desert island and you were only able to take one DVD, and you had enough charge in your portable DVD player to watch one movie once, what would it be?
Oh, that is. Oh, I've got a few movies knocking through my head.
It can't be a trilogy because you're going to be disappointed. Because you're going to be disappointed.
I don't know. I think
it's got to be one out of a trilogy.
It's got to be, I suppose, inspiring. Like, you know, gives you the next day to go. Right, I've got to get up and go. I've got to do
like Castaway, like Wilson.
What's that one with all the kids who get?
If it's not going to be your all-time favourite movie, then what's the point? I'd say there's going to be two.
What's the point of watching it?
One or two for me. Yeah, it's got to be Back to the Future 1. Right, that's me.
Oh, well, yeah, I would have thought it. I'm thinking more like Riddick.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Then I'd say there's another, there's a couple of movies out there that I love watching.
Oh,
like
actually.
Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead's a quality movie that you can watch over and over again. If you had one movie to watch for the rest of your life, then I could probably do that or Back to the Future.
What about Revolver? That's a mindfucker one.
Yeah, but I don't want a mindfuck. I don't want a suspense film, and I don't want a twist because you ruin your twist when the first time you see it.
Yeah.
Book of Eli, right? Great film. But I watched it once and I went, that was amazing. I've never felt compelled to watch it ever again.
I've never seen it.
Because, you got to watch that film.
Everyone keeps saying watch it.
Watch it.
Fucking brilliant.
Just watch it. Yeah, and if you've not watched it, watch it. Everyone out there, it's a great film. But
if I come across it, I will.
But because I know what happens, I don't feel compelled to watch it again, even though it was such a superb film. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because part of it was the mystique and the fact the closing. Do you know what I mean? Okay. So other than that, I'm not going to say another word.
Right. Yeah.
But great. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question. I mean, have you picked a film?
I Oh, Bad Boys. I don't know.
Bad Boys.
I don't know. There's so many.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
So many good films. I mean, I like black and white films as well.
Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank Redemption. Yeah, that would have been in one of my lists. But
The Goodfellas.
Yeah, Goodfellas. Yeah, Godfather. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. You know
the whole movie library.
Yeah. Well, this is what I mean about the categories. There's so many different.
And I do agree with that. I mean, different things change your life or like inspire you in different ways for different things. So it's
like that because if it's a good question.
If that was from on second watch.
Second watch, right? Yeah.
Last question from Geeksploration.
That's a nice
pod. If we had to swim across a river made of any condiment, what would we prefer?
Custard. I could run across it.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, Mythbusters has proven that you can run across custard.
Yeah.
I would say something nice and, thin, like ranch dressing, something not too gloop.
What?
Do you know, like a nice thin, like, what's it, like a rattan?
A rattan?
A rattan dip.
I've never had a rattan dip.
It's what, it's mint yogurt sauce. What
is it? Oh, right, okay.
It's usually a bit more thinner than like a normal mayonnaise condiment style.
Yeah, but you've got to swim through that.
Yeah, but it's going to be a bit less liquid. It's going to be a bit more liquidy than custard and or tomato ketchup.
Yeah, but custard, I'd be just fucking legging it. I won't. But the only problem there is when I stop.
You've got to maintain speed, but you got to get across the river. If you get across the river in a couple of steps, then it depends how wide the river is, doesn't it?
50 feet across, then it's like custard. If it's not, then I don't know. Something that halfway through I can have some energy.
Wait a minute.
What?
Right.
Go on. You've got the perfect answer.
I've got the perfect answer to this because if we had to swim across a river made of any condiment, yeah, I'd choose something like. Pepper or salt, because
pepper more than salt. I think, yeah.
I'd swim through pepper.
Get a bit fucking dry.
I'd walk through pepper. In that case, just be like it's getting up my nose.
Yeah. Big pepper balls like footballs.
Yeah. You did pepper kernels. Not ground pepper.
Yeah, you just move them out of the way. But then they might crush you like boulders.
Depends how small. No, just get the small ones.
Depends how deep it is. The smaller ones, you might be.
It could be ankle deep.
Yeah.
Well, swim. It's saying swim, innit?
Well, yeah.
Good question.
Yeah, that is a good question, but I still go with custard.
He's still going with. That's not condiment.
All right then. I don't know.
Custard, I agree with for the reasons you just said. Mint sauce again is a liquidy thing. It's not as thick as mayonnaise or tomato ketchup or brown sauce, HP or Daddy's.
Yeah, it'd be like swimming through fucking gardens.
Yeah, be right with that. Mint sauce.
Mint sauce. I'll go with that, and I love a bit of mint. Yeah. I could die in mint. Yeah,
down with that.
Yeah, at least I smell fresh.
Right, we've got shout-outs to go through. Big shout-outs to our Patreons.
Yeah.
Got a big shout-out to Big J.
Yeah, JJ.
Woohoo. Big shout-out to Dunk.
Dougie.
And he asked me to give a special shout-out to the Ginger Magician. I think that's what he said. The Ginger Wizard.
The Ginger Wizard?
Yeah, a big shout out to Monty, the Ginger Wizard.
Go on, Monty, the Ginger Wizard. Crack on, sir. Crack on.
A big shout out to Jessie G.
Yes, Jessie. Yeah. Hope you're doing well, girl.
And a massive shout out to Swoosh.
Yes, swooshy. Don't walk them doggies.
And a massive shout out to Charlotte W.
Yes, Charlotte. With a W.
Thank you for the support over on Patreon. If you want to become a Patreon and get a top of the show, say top of the shout outs, and applause, then you know what to do. Get over to Patreon. Other shout outs include this week Harriet.
Yes,
Gareth.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Mr. Crabtree.
Yeah, Mr. Crabtree.
And the Duke of Marmalade, Brian.
Yeah,
shout out to Jimmy Evans.
Jimmy.
Shawnee and Chris.
Yeah, Shawnee.
Agent Coulson. And Gruber.
Yeah, Gruber.
Shout out to Louise. Mikey.
Mikey.
Arden. Jez. Liz. And Doug.
Yeah, Doug.
Oh, you guys get a shout out. I've got some podcast recommendations as well. Big shout out to the Geekdom Fancast.
Yeah, man.
Page from the Receive True Crime podcast.
Well, that's a long one.
The Culture Quest podcast.
Yeah.
Fun with Friends pod.
That's nice and easy. Yeah.
10ish.
10ish, yeah, man.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
The Deep in History pod.
Deep, yeah, man.
Pass the Hot Sauce.
Oh, right, go on then.
No, I'm asking.
Is it
I was swimming it.
Yeah.
The Pass the Hot Sauce pod. For Nerds by Nerds.
All right, nerds.
Infectious Groove podcast.
Oh, groovy.
Bring on the weird.
Weirdo.
The Smoke and Mirrors podcast.
Oh, smoky. I like that.
The Unpredictable podcast.
That's
the
just
Unpredictability Us. Unpredictable Us. I think it's called podcast. Cinematic Blind Spot.
Yeah, that's a good one, yeah, cinematic.
Straight to DVD podcast.
Well, that's nice and simple, isn't it?
Yeah, everyone
knows
that.
That's a good one, that.
Family Councils.
Oh.
The Baking Games.
Oh, yeah. No,
Riddle Me This podcast. Riddle Me This True Crime podcast.
Yeah, I like
The
that.
Main Dame.
The name.
The Main Dame.
The main dame.
Opposed to the Not So Main Dame.
Yeah.
Shoot the Flick.
Shoot the flick? What the fuck's the flick?
As in flick the flick and shoot it.
Flick the bird?
Shoot the movie, man.
Shoot the movie?
Flick, as in shoot the flick.
Oh, right, yeah, got you.
Two Pits in a Pod.
Two Pits in a Pod. Yeah.
And the Idiot Savant.
Yes.
Oh my God, so many shout outs this week.
Yeah.
Thank you for getting in touch.
Thanks, guys.
And thanks for the wonderful questions.
Yeah, we're loving it, man.
Well, it's that time of the it's that time of the night again. It's the end of the show.
It is.
If you've got any questions, you want to comment on anything we've talked about tonight, or any suggestions, you know what to do. You can email us at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com. You can hit us up at Twitter at NASA_never. Or check us out, bit of behind the scenes stuff going on over on Instagram at Neverstraightanswer. Join us there. I mean, subscribe to YouTube as well, and make sure you ring the bell, because we've got the 100th episode coming up imminently.
Yes.
And if you want to get involved with that, watch live and get involved in the chat, then you know, we could be giving stuff away.
Start thinking of questions now.
Yeah, exactly. And if you want to help us out on Patreon, you know what to do. Go to www.patreon.com/neverstraightanswer, and you can throw in as much as £1, $1, €1, up to as much as you can afford. I think we've got an incentive there to get a free Never a Straight Answer mug.
Oh, yes.
If you sign up to Patreon as well. So check that out. And also, I think there's another tier where we send out a postcard.
Oh, right. Yeah.
From us. And also, we're looking into some stickers as well. We've got a bit of a thing coming up with that, potentially, in the near future.
Maybe some lucky people.
That's basically it for this week's show. If there's anything I'm forgetting, we are available on all podcast platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, fucking everything. iHeart, fucking New York, wherever you get your podcast. We're there.
We are there waiting for you.
And that's it for this week's show.
It is.
We'll catch you next time. Hope you've enjoyed it. Pretty weird with the nukes. Lot of stuff blowing up.
Let's just hope we're here next week.
We'll be here next week. Probably a millisecond to midnight, but we'll be here next week.
So big boys.
We've actually got a really interesting episode coming up next week. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And make sure you subscribe. We'll catch you next week. I've been Gaz.
I've been Taylor.
Peace.
Out. I'm going to have some chips now.